Episode number 12. Today we have our first guest, Nolan Harvel.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
We've known each other for 3 years now?
Oh my gosh.
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Since 2019.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, freshman year of university, and we do guitar together.
We do guitar together.
Yeah. And we thought it'd be great to have you on.
Yeah.
You have scored my music, or not music, you do my music for my films.
I have scored your music.
Yeah. You could say art is like music, and like a film, it flows. It's
Cinema
very,
arts,
but it's
absolutely.
a visual. If music is with auditory, film it's a visual form of that. It's all.
Yeah.
Dig myself out of this grave here, but
Quite the intro.
Yeah. Very eloquent.
yeah. We did not practice this. This is
First
we
take.
do it live.
First take.
Yeah.
Are we
this is
live streaming now?
non-scripted.
No,
It's very realistic.
So
it would be
Garrett,
worse if it was.
today, what are we going to be discussing? What are we going to be lost in conversation with Nolan?
Usually we talk about a specific movie, but because we work on movies and scores, and you've helped score some of my work, I thought maybe we could talk about some film scores and the movies that go along with them.
That sounds like a wonderful idea.
Thank you, Nolan.
So for our listeners who don't know what scores are, would Nolan or Garrett care to explain?
Would you like to explain? I think everyone knows what it is.
Well, yeah, it's the soundtrack that accompanies a motion picture,
Beautiful.
Well,
or the music that is set to
yeah.
a moving image on the screen.
Exactly. So it's supposed to sort of encompass what the film should be sounding like musically.
I was watching a movie today called Tomorrowland.
With George Clooney.
Yes, I like that movie.
Really?
I really like that movie because
Interesting.
I love sci-fi. And that movie's very sci-fi. They literally go to another dimension. But it got really bad reviews,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah, sci-fi is really hit or miss.
There's a bit of overacting. But
Well,
the music
That's good.
is very good.
Well, thinking about sci-fi, I mean, there's a lot of sci-fi movies that they all go down in flames. But one that comes to mind is Blade Runner 2049. It didn't do very good in theaters.
The new one?
The new one
that's
didn't
the-
do very good. A lot of people didn't see it. I don't know why. I think it came out in 2017. And I watched it this last week, and it is really good. It's more of a visually stunning movie. The cinematography is really good. It's Denis Villeneuve as the director.
Villeneuve. He's doing
Villeneuve.
Dune.
Yeah, Dune.
Or, well, he did Dune.
Yeah.
Dune comes out in, like, what, a week?
Yeah,
Something like
soon,
that. It's
yeah.
pretty soon.
Yeah. very
Arrival,
exciting.
he did. Sicario.
Oh, yeah.
Big movies.
I was looking at this last night. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's so many good movies. And I don't know the DP, whoever was actually the cinematographer on the movie, but really good job. The music, compared to the original Vangelis.
Oh, boy, we're going there.
He's
Oh,
hopping.
boy.
He's hopping right into it.
Oh, boy.
When I watched it, I think 2 nights ago, and I was really consciously trying to listen to the music because Blade Runner, the original, such an iconic. It made what cyberpunk and that synth wave
The
would
whole
become.
synth
Yeah.
wave was like,
Yeah.
jumped off of that.
I mean,
movie.
Vangelis, Chariots of Fire, and Blade Runner.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's
That's Vangelis.
iconic. And he passed away early on, right?
I think he's still alive.
Is he? I remember in a film class, like I think he had passed or something. I mean,
Midway
if
through.
not, then I feel real bad, But yeah, the thing with because Hans Zimmer did 2049, right?
Yes.
And personally speaking, I think Zimmer's pretty hit or miss. Not unlike Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder just doesn't hit. But Hans Zimmer,
Wow.
I don't like Zack Snyder.
I'm not a fan either.
He runs off of 300. He did 300, it was a visually good-looking movie. But since then, he just rides off the coattails. He's like, from the director of 300. And it's like, that was
Yeah.
20 years ago.
And other movies.
Yeah.
That's like how they phrase it always.
Did you see the new zombie movie?
Oh
on
my
Netflix?
gosh, it was so bad.
Yeah.
Which movie?
Army of the
I had a
Dead.
friend
Oh,
of mine
yeah,
say, Nolan, that was a great movie.
Mm-mm.
And I just sat there and I was like, how could anyone think this movie is anywhere near good?
Question.
Like anyone that knows nothing about that's someone that just walks into the theater and they're like, I want to have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to have a good time.
No.
Yeah, it's hard
you
to
know,
focus.
Even if you're hypercritical like me.
No, like I remember watching
films.
the movie. Nothing made sense. It was out of order. And like, first off, I remember, if you remember the movie pretty clearly, the bad zombie rides across the horse through all of Las Vegas and catches up to a helicopter. and goes up a building,
One shot
presumably
later.
running. You know, Las Vegas is not a small place.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no way a horse, like you're telling me, a horse can outrun a helicopter.
And also it depends on what time of the year it is. That could have been easily 100+ degree temperature.
It was July 4th.
So you're looking at like 120 degrees, and this.
Oh yeah, and
this
the
guy's
horse
just-
is zombie horse, so like the horse doesn't. I don't know. It was such a garbage movie.
Yeah, the whole thing about them becoming hyper.
Yeah.
Human, I don't know
They're
what the word
aliens.
is for them, because they're not Walking Dead, because they're
fast as
it's like The Walking Dead, but like the next level.
yeah.
You know,
I
they
think
can kill you way worse than, like, they're not gonna infect you. They're gonna tear you up and eat you.
the thing with I think Zack Snyder was going for in it was like he set up like a cinematic universe. And,
Sequels.
Like no, literally, he was setting up sequels.
Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants it,
Yeah.
but remember when there was like blue, like glowing, like blood coming out of them? It was like they were aliens or robots. A few of them were robots. It
the
literally
cyber
showed
zombies.
they were cyborg zombies, and it was like, that's not explained.
Well, I think that's the thing with like movies nowadays. In order to be able to sell them, you have to be able to sell a sequel.
Mm.
Because like the returns for one movie, they're like, yeah, we'll make a couple $1 million,
Yeah.
whatever. But
we
like
need to make 300
a
million on the next
franchise,
movie.
yeah, like
Yeah.
the Avengers. You get another Avengers going, you're like, yeah, we'll sell that. Cyborg zombies, we'll sell that.
I don't know who funds Zack Snyder. Like none of his movies do good.
He probably has some IOUs or something.
Yeah, I think he did though produce an executive produce this last one.
I did like Man of Steel.
You like what, the original?
Yeah,
So,
with a
Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill. Yeah, I'm a big Cavill fan.
How'd you feel about that ending, though? Big old fight and
You know, I mean, it's a long movie,
it's long.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
but it looks cool. And man, if a movie looks cool for me, and I like I said, I love sci-fi,
Mm.
and if the music's good, then I'm like, okay, that was really cool. Like it took me somewhere.
Yeah,
Like it took me somewhere that's not here.
right.
Mm.
And that's going back to Blade Runner and Vangelis. And by the way, he's alive.
is he? All right,
He
that's
is alive.
good.
He's
Why did-
he's 78.
Damn.
Nice.
Why would he not come back for the sequel? Interesting.
probably
Honestly,
saw it
a
coming.
lot of
Yeah.
artists, they do a lot of big things, and that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, creatively, I mean, it blows my mind that I'm able to create more, like something creative, like once a week or sometimes like once a month.
Yeah.
It's like music that I've released in the past. It's like after it comes out, then it's like, well, what am I supposed to do now? Like, how am I? Or like, oh, I'm supposed to write an album now. Oh, that was a single. Now I got to write an album.
Yeah.
But yeah, Vangelis has been so influential for everything. I mean, the Chariots of Fire. I mean, that's a great TikTok meme song. I mean, you hear it everywhere.
No, I know the classic scene as well.
Yeah.
It's gosh, running movie, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen it,
Oh, it's
but I
about
know all
the
the
runners.
clips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget where. I think it's set in like the 20s or the 30s, something like that.
Before the Hitler Olympics.
Oh boy.
Yeah. But I'm trying to think, like Blade Runner 2049. That was another movie that was long. I started
It's like
at
3 hours.
Yeah, I started
Yeah.
at like 11 p.m. and I was like, oh, it'll be like 2 hours.
Well, people say people like reviewers and guys on YouTube and the internet, and critics say it's almost a perfect sequel. But it's like Blade Runner and in its sequel 2049. Those are films. Like those are not movies
Cinema.
you're not going to be. Everyone's not going to be entertained.
Yeah.
And it's really fascinating because Vangelis, like I don't know if you've ever seen his workspace, but he was the guy that kind of invented using synthesizers as an orchestra, creating an orchestral sound.
Have you ever
with a
heard
synthesizer.
of a artist named Giovanni Giorgio?
I believe so.
Yeah, he used a synthesizer, and he actually worked on a piece for Daft Punk.
Really?
It's called Giovanni.
Giovanni,
yeah.
or something.
But it's a great song, and he was one of those guys as well that like made the Marauder synth,
Yeah,
and
super popularized.
yeah. But I mean, it just spawned like I remember back when Nolan and I were in high school, we were in a computer science class, and
my
we would
goodness.
we'd be doing code things like that, but we could listen to music.
Yeah.
So
90% of
we
the class.
was
that
just
sounds
listening
awesome.
to music, and we'd
80%.
put synthwave and like vaporwave on just constantly. doing a little coding.
And it would just be, you'd be like in a different world because you'd just be like hearing like the synth going and you're just trying to do like this super basic coding where it's just like we're building a website.
Yeah.
But like you just like feel like you're like hacking into the Pentagon or something. You're just like I'm
Got the
bad.
pounding synth bass.
I'm
and
bad.
You're just like, you know,
it definitely
hacking
like,
into the school's mainframe.
Exactly.
it fuels you. I mean, it definitely, Hans Zimmer brought in that synthy feel, but it felt like he took Inception and a little bit of Dark Knight and just synthesized them a little bit more, the sound.
I
Big
think it's a little
horns,
forced, honestly.
but the
That low
synthy.
brass.
Yeah. And like
Because
that,
I've listened to the soundtrack, but it's interesting because you can listen to a soundtrack and be like, oh, this is great music. But then if you watched it with the film, you're like, this is terrible. It's like an example of this is I watched Jungle Cruise, the new rock movie.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a very fun and entertaining movie for all audiences.
Right.
But there's a Metallica song in the movie, and it's not explained at all. Like, it's in this big emotional scene where The Rock is like, and they killed us or whatever, and we got to get our revenge, and then we went into like exile or whatever. And it's literally, it went from full like 20th century orchestral stuff, you know, typical James Newton Howard, to Metallica mixed with orchestra. And I was thinking, who greenlighted this? But then I realized Metallica probably had an agreement or a contract with Disney where they had to have their song put in a movie and the contract was about to expire. Something like that. Yeah. Something weird that James Newton Howard and the producers didn't have any control over.
Right.
And it came from the top
business.
brass. Yeah, but it's cool. Like, it's super epic to listen in the car. I mean, it's just so massive. Yeah. It's like a wall of sound just hits you. And then you can just imagine, like, The Rock. These massive pecs. Just like, you know?
Something like
it's like super epic. And I listen to it, like, all the time in the car. I'm a little tired of it now. But it's super cool. But it's a great soundtrack, you know. And James Newton Howard also scored the first two Batman movies with
Dark Knight
Hans Zimmer.
and Batman Begins.
And then he bowed out. He left the project willingly on the third one because he was like, "Oh, you guys got it." So he let Hans Zimmer work.
That was
with
the
Nolan.
thing. The first Batman Begins, all of those songs, they're memorable. Where I feel like when Hans Zimmer kind of is left to his own devices, 90% of the time, it's like, let's just put the bass, you know, brassy, big horns, and call it a day. But when there's someone like kind of looking at him, he's like starts doing it. Like, you have the Batman Begins, and it's just these big orchestral. It almost sounds like there's wings flapping, you know, like a bat, and things like these big movements. And then the only song that I remember from the third movie is I think it's called "Why Do We Fall," and it's it's a flashback scene, and it's more like emotional, more like lament kind of thing. But other than that, I mean, The Dark Knight has some good stuff. At the very end of it, when Batman's like fleeing the scene.
I have a very strong opinion on the ending of that movie.
That one?
It's so, you're talking about The Dark Knight Rises, the third one, or are you talking about the
either?
Yeah.
I mean, they both have very controversial endings.
Yeah, well, The Dark Knight Rises, the ending, I mean, they stick like 45 minutes worth of stuff into like 5 minutes. It's just like this and this, and they kind of do that on the second one as well.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh my gosh, and then the credits flash on the screen. It's like,
what the heck just happened?
It's like super epic, and I'm like, okay, so sequel, but no, it's been
10 years,
almost 10 years. You know, definitely not happening. We've got another Batman movie coming.
I think that's kind of the way just Nolan is. Chris Nolan.
Another Nolan.
Because like, I think he just gets so ahead of himself on making a movie that he gets to the end and he's like, oh, we didn't have time for that, or you know, whatever it means.
I feel like Nolan tries to be too deep.
Yeah.
And he tries to be this revolutionary director. And I'm not saying, I mean, Nolans are great. I mean, you know, we're great.
Yeah,
but Chris Nolan, I think he goes a little over the top. Now, I understand making a movie is hard.
Yeah.
Writing a movie is hard.
Oh, yeah.
Working with the biggest studio, and one of the biggest studios in the world, that's difficult. That's a big gig, you know. But he tries to, I think he bites off a little more than he can chew, especially with like Tenet.
Yeah, I never
watched
watched
like Inception. You know, people walk out of the theater and they're like, it was like, that was cool. Leonardo DiCaprio is a great actor, but it's like, I'm confused.
Tenet,
I think
I've never seen so many like explanatory YouTube videos for one movie.
And people act like
they don't know.
People act like you're supposed to have to watch the movie 3 or 4 times before you understand it. And I'm like, but that's not. But it's entertainment. It's not like you should have to use your brain a little bit.
That's the way I think.
But you shouldn't have to like. You shouldn't have to do math or whatever to like figure it out.
That's not the purpose of watching a movie.
Looking at his like backlog, that's everything he's ever done. I mean, you have forget the name now, but it's the movie where he like loses his memory every day, so he has like tattoos all over his body to trace back
50 First Dates.
No,
with Adam Sandler.
Dude, that's exactly what I was
movie.
thinking because I had no idea what you're talking about, Garrett.
Yeah,
but I know that movie.
But his first movie, it was like that, and you actually like once you watch the movie, then you like understand it more, going backwards, and then you have a movie like The Prestige. I don't know if any of you guys seen that one, where it's dueling magicians, Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman.
Yeah,
and you don't understand that movie till I watched it like 2 or 3 times. I was like,
blind.
No,
that's a different movie.
Completely different movie. But that one's it's a magician movie, but it's a little bit sci-fi even in there because it's not based in reality.
Right.
But it's a really good movie, and 2 dueling magicians and like their feud, what they'll do for that. And then I'm trying to think. Inception obviously is like,
oh boy, where
he started going. You know, he's like, we're just gonna confuse everyone. Like, it doesn't matter how many times you watch it, there's no answer at the end. There's no resolve.
It's epic, though.
Oh, yeah.
And Hans Zimmer really got lucky on that score. Like, Time.
Oh, yeah.
The song Time. Millions, and like tens of millions of streams. I want to say it's probably got 50 million, but I feel like it's more than that.
Holy Chrysler.
Yeah. Dude, film music goes hard. Like, it
Dude,
goes off on
Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, that one's insane.
Okay. I don't mean to change the subject here or the subject matter.
Just cheap hop,
but, dude, do you guys know the deets? Do you know the T on Pirates of the Caribbean soundtrack?
Which one?
Garrett explained a little bit.
Well, I was just
like the main theme,
Well, I know
I think the first movement. The first
movie was not Zimmer. It was Klaus de Bolt, right?
Badelt.
Badelt.
I think that's how you say his
name.
It's not American.
I don't think I've ever had the Hans Zimmer talk with you guys, but I can spill the tea.
Share the tea.
I actually had an interesting conversation with my composition professor yesterday. I brought up Hans Zimmer, and he told me stuff I already knew, but then he told me some other stuff that I didn't know. Now this is a lot, but
Let's get into it.
I'll start it. I'll start this off. I'll start this
Bring
tale.
us along the journey.
The tale of Hans Zimmer.
The journey.
Once upon a time, there lived a German man named Hans Zimmer. Anyway, so the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie was written in 3 weeks. The music for the movie was written in 3 weeks.
They wrote that movie in 3 weeks. Holy.
Damn.
Gosh, no. It wouldn't surprise me though.
Just like
I'm sure you could pull that off in the 21st century. But so they wrote in 3 weeks. Basically, Hans Zimmer wrote the main melodies, and if you look this up or you read it on like a chat site or you look it up on Wikipedia, he wrote da-da-dum bum 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 bum. But that's all he knows how to do. Is this is the melody, and then he hired his company hired 7 guys, 7 big composers that have all had incredibly successful careers, and they all worked together and created the cues off of the melody off of the range of melodies or the various melodies, the 5 or 10 melodies that Zimmer wrote for the film. It's kind of like for Jungle Cruise. So if you listen to that soundtrack, at the beginning there's a Jungle Cruise suite, and that suite includes all of the melodies and motifs and ideas that you hear throughout the film. And basically, when a composer is writing for a movie, they write a sketch of everything that's going to be in the movie, and then it's like 12 minutes long, 12 to 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. They play for the director, and the director goes, "That's good," or "It's bad. I like it," or "I don't like it." Right?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what happened with that. But the whole thing with Hans Zimmer is he owns this company called Remote Control Productions, and what I found out from my comp teacher yesterday is that Hans Zimmer used to rent out his incredibly beautiful studio space. He's got his home studio. That's not what I'm talking about. Right. He's got the really cool home studio with the synthesizers in the walls.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen that? The big grand piano and everything? Yeah. But then he's also got, actual brick and mortar building with tons of studios, like state-of-the-art studios in it. And he used to rent those out to composers. And he'd be like, "Hey, I will give you access to this state-of-the-art facility that I own because I'm a brilliant businessman, and I will let you do whatever you want in there, but you have to put my name on the soundtrack." And that's what I found out yesterday.
Sneaky.
I always thought that Hans Zimmer did write, because you know, there's a lot of composers that write in the DAW now. I do that all the time. That's how pop music is made. You don't need any skill or any music theory knowledge. You don't need to know how to play piano or any instrument for that matter. You can just go off your good, if you have them, your good musical instincts. And that's what Hans Zimmer has done, because he used to be a synth programmer. Like that's all he did. He was a synth programmer from day one. So he knew how to twist knobs and make incredibly cool sounds. That's why I think he did a really great job, just from a production standpoint, on Blade Runner 2049. I haven't seen the movie, but I've listened to the soundtrack. And it's great, you know? And it pays homage to Vangelis, and you can debate whether that's good, great, bad, ugly, whatever. But he definitely knows what he's doing when it comes to synthesizers and technology. I mean, he's a genius at that. But when it comes to orchestration, there's a lot of composers that don't know how to do that. And so they hire a guy that went to USC and has a bunch of degrees. And he's like, here, I'll give you this amount of money and you can orchestrate it. And it'll put music by so-and-so and orchestrated by so-and-so in the credits. And there's a whole lot more to it than that. But in a nutshell, Hans Zimmer is a businessman.
Right, yeah.
And people give him crap all the time. I saw a guy on Instagram the other day, like, crapping on Hans Zimmer publicly on Instagram. And I'm like, you can't do that, though, because
he's Hans Zimmer.
He's brilliant. He's not a brilliant composer. He's more valuable than any composer living. By the way, his movies, I think there's over 160 of them now.
He's got everything.
John Williams only scored 150. And John Williams, we can all agree, is the GOAT.
But when we say, like, John Williams, whenever he did something, you remember what he wrote.
Right. Well, it wasn't commercialized in the way that Hans Zimmer is. It's because when he gets a project, he has like 100 people working for him. He's got probably 5 or 6 composers that are all writing different cues for it. And then I'm sure he's writing things himself because he's the producer. You know, because back in the day when you had a studio, you walk into the studio and the producer's the guy that gets all the musicians in there. He gets the arrangers, he gets the composers together, and he makes it happen. He's the glue, he's the guy that, just like a TV producer. Yeah. They're the glue that keeps it together. They're the person that turns it out. That's why they make the big bucks.
It's like there's the main producer, and then there's another 50 producers under them, and you see the associate producers, and you're like, oh, those are the guys actually doing something.
Yeah. Well, the ones that guy at the top worked his way up and climbed that ladder. Hans Zimmer did the same thing. He did Rain Man. I don't know if you guys have seen them. Yeah. Fantastic movie. But if you listen to it, or next time you listen to it, it's a mixture of pop songs.
Shit.
He doesn't know Rain Man.
Did I miss something here?
No, he just doesn't know Rain Man. Rain Man's the one where he's autistic and he can count.
Rain Man?
Yeah, I thought
Rain Man,
Isn't there like an original in black and white?
No, I think
Dustin Hoffman.
I think you're thinking of Dancing in the Rain.
No, some with Rain.
Well, you got to watch, if you haven't watched it, you got to watch Rain Man, because Tom Cruise is great in it. And Dustin Hoffman, I believe, won an Oscar for that role. But anyway, Hans Zimmer did the music. And if you listen to it, it's incredibly synthy. It's typical 80s synthesizer music. Same, like if you listen to Top Gun, oh my gosh, synthesizers everywhere.
K-Log.
Any Tom Cruise movie prior to 2000, just synthesizers everywhere. Or any big movie, for that matter.
Well, definitely changed when he hit Inception. He just kind of like went on.
Do you know that? Did you know that Hans Zimmer scored The Lion King?
I think Did
you know that?
The original?
Isn't that crazy?
He's like all over the place. Yeah, I don't get 160 movies.
It's like with Pirates of the Caribbean, Klaus Badelt has his name on. If you listen to it on Spotify, it's Hans Zimmer and Klaus Badelt. But Klaus Badelt probably did the majority of the heavy lifting. But also, Hans Zimmer, as I was saying, he's an incredibly valuable asset. Or to himself at this point. But what I was going to get at is that he's grossed $11.9 billion at the box office.
Wow.
John Williams has only grossed 11.8. So like Hans Zimmer just
is that adjusted to inflation?
I believe it is.
All right, because I'm like Star Wars 70s.
The listeners may have to go back and double check me, but I was looking at it a couple weeks ago, and it's pretty unbelievable. But Hans Zimmer can do that. He can churn out as many movies as he wants because
people
he has a company.
Hans Zimmer.
And people say too, like, oh, John Williams wasn't as great. He's not as genius as you think he is. And I'm sure John Williams has worked with orchestrators. You write a piano score and then you give that score to an orchestrator, and they make something out of it. But John Williams did the heavy lifting, and of course John Williams orchestrates and does his own thing. But like sometimes when you're kind of tied up, you gotta hire out. And it just makes the process easier. I was looking at something yesterday. I don't know if you guys follow Output. They're a plugin or a plugin company. They also make furniture now. They make studio furniture.
Interesting.
And anyway, so they were doing a special, like a YouTube video, like a 15-minute YouTube video on Brian Tyler. And I believe Brian Tyler did 300. Going back to
Zack Snyder.
Zachy, yeah. But this guy, and I can always tell if a composer or these film composers are like legit or if they're like business guys, you know, and they're getting their name put on it. This man, I kid you not, I'll have to send you guys this video at a later date. It will blow your mind.
Maybe we could play it.
This guy,
that's a lot of editing,
dude. This man, okay, he's 49. Okay, he looks so cool. Like he's got cool blonde hair and he's like tall, and he has a career as a DJ. He's got a career as a film composer.
Diplo.
He's a jazz pianist, dude. He's like I mean like.
He's the guy.
Next level stuff. I mean, like he does these big extravaganzas, kind of like what Hans Zimmer does, where he takes his music live, like on a big tour. And it's like Hans Zimmer live. Well, Brian Tyler does that, and he's also a conductor, by the way. So there's that.
Everything.
I mean,
he's the package.
And it's like he's like, oh yeah, so here I am in my massive Beverly Hills mansion. Oh, and then my massive studio is back here, and and you go in, and he's just like shredding on the drums, and then he goes over to piano, and there's a video of him playing with his orchestra and he's conducting, and then he stops conducting, the orchestra keeps going, and then he just starts laying it down on the drums, and then he runs over and just like starts doing a crazy jazz solo, and dude, literally the guy's technique is so good, it's just like it's like Lang Lang in the house. It's
pre-recorded,
absolutely crazy,
dubbed over,
and it's like
don't show my hands.
And this man I bet he makes $5 million a picture. I'm sure he's made $5 million on one picture before.
It's royalties.
Wow. Would not surprise me. I mean, Hans Zimmer for Dune, I would love to know that number.
I haven't heard the soundtrack of that one yet.
Is
it
gonna
out?
Be so insane.
Oh, you're talking about Dune?
Yeah.
So, okay. So here's the tea on Dune. I keep saying here's the tea like I'm some expert on this stuff. I'm totally not. But I'll just say, fun fact about Dune. So, of course, Dune is this incredible space epic that is about to bless us all.
Have you ever seen the original movie?
Or
read the books?
I've never read the books. I'm not that
That's
committed.
a big commitment.
I'm a book guy.
Have you read them?
I read the original, not the sequels.
I mean, those are hefty. Sorry, I don't want to like go down that road. I feel like we could really get lost.
Dude's great.
But anyway, so Hans Zimmer apparently, according to an article I read on the internet, but you can never really believe anything on the internet, he's written 2 scores for the film because according to him, there's just so much. Dang. There's just so much to be said musically, and so he's already released some of the music. It's called the Dune Sketchbook, and it's really I would say it's I've listened to the whole thing, and each track there's like 7 or 8 tracks I think, and it's like each track is like 15 minutes long.
Wow!
And it's like a combination of Hans Zimmer-y vibey music and sound design elements from the film. Oh,
so like just audio.
It's very, very space sci-fi oriented, but it's got a lot of very oriental elements, like you would see in like because they're in the desert.
Well, the whole basis that Frank Herbert had for Dune, it was like commentary on Islam. Because because it's like in the movie or the book, there's a jihadism for the new religion that comes from. From the family going to Dune and all that, and the spice is what fuels them. Yeah, and fuels all the space travel.
I love that they call it the spice.
It's oil.
It's like in Snowpiercer. You've seen Snowpiercer, and they got the drug.
Oh yeah.
Isn't it like the stuff that keeps the train going, but it's also a drug, and they give it to the people in the back to keep them sedated?
Have you
know about Snowpiercer?
I've no
Snowpiercer with Chris Evans. Oh man, it's a train that is like the only humans left on the planet.
Oh yeah, actually, I've seen clips from it. I haven't watched like the whole movie.
We gotta watch this movie.
That's a good movie.
Have you seen the show?
The show?
There's a show on TNT.
I didn't know. I don't watch
How
the
do
show.
you do that?
It's good, dude. The show is good.
See,
Does it take place before the movie? Because the movie kind of ends.
I think it's just like.
Train fell over.
It's just like you're on the train, so I guess time is irrelevant.
All right. Well, because in the end of Snowpiercer, right? A spoiler, but like the last two people.
Well, yeah, it's
off.
obviously before that.
Yeah,
because there wouldn't be no content. It's not Snowpiercer once they get off. Snowpiercer.
That's what. See, the movie has to have marketability. It has to have TV shows or like.
Well,
it
was
has to have.
If I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was a graphic novel originally.
Yeah, everything comes from a book.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me. Have you seen Tales from the Loop?
I don't.
It's also it's a TV show on Amazon that I think is beautifully done. I've talked to some people; they don't like it. I guess because it's slow, but it's based off of a graphic novel.
All right.
And it's really killer. Sorry, I didn't mean to
move
off of the subject there, but I was like, by the way, you got to go see it. It's pretty great.
It's good. Have you seen the theorizers that say that Snowpiercer and Willy Wonka are part of the same?
I have heavily consumed that content.
Now, Willy Wonka, I have watched.
You have watched it, so you basically seen.
I feel like it's kind of a reach, though. I feel like it's.
But some things don't.
But it's really cool, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the internet's there for.
Mm-hmm. They made me believe it.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna believe it.
Yeah. they make a very good point in those videos.
I mean, they're so well done.
Yeah.
It blows my mind.
That's a lot of effort.
It's my friends. That's a lot of content. You guys need to step up your game.
Just hop into some Reddit feed on the overlap between Willy Wonka and Snowpiercer.
Yeah. Start
episode 13.
But
episode 13 never came out because there was too much.
That's crazy, bro.
Damn, it is crazy. I got my hat. Yeah. But I'm trying to think. Yeah, with Hans Zimmer, he's hit or miss to me personally.
I guess I remember.
I'm trying to think of like a Hans Zimmer film or soundtrack that I don't like. Oh, and then the light bulb goes off in my head, and I think the Batman trilogy. I don't think those scores are that great.
They're loud.
Now this is coming from a guy that's played classical music for years. I mean, I've been living and breathing classical music since I was 3 years old.
Oh, word.
So as a classical musician, it has to be complicated in order for it to be good or for it to be accepted by the musical community.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That is not true in film. That is that's not true in anything really.
I think it overlaps in a lot of communities where you if you go to an extreme in classical music, you guys shred, right?
But he does. I don't.
Nah, yeah, he's pretty good.
Oh, don't beat yourself up, Garrett.
And it's when you go to the complex level of that, it's just in Cars or something, or in something extreme, the amount of people that appreciate the extreme details falls off so fast. But truly, that's really cool because not a lot of people understand the complexity of it, but the people that do, it's they get it.
Well, I think it's so interesting. It just fascinates me that James Newton Howard and Hans Zimmer were somehow able to work together to make those first two scores, because the Batman theme, when you score, the first thing I learned when I started scoring, and I haven't been scoring that long, but the first thing, so I'm no expert. So I'm not saying this as this is wisdom, but one of the fundamental things, if you look up how to do film score on YouTube, the first thing they say is, oh yes, you're gonna write some melodies for your main characters. Okay, so Batman has a theme.
Get the motifs.
Do you guys remember what that theme is?
The only thing I remember was the
yes,
and it's
everyone remembers that.
That's all you remember.
When the credits roll, it's and it's just massive percussion. Yeah. There's really not much going on musically. It's just a ton of percussion.
What?
But you don't remember the main melody?
Well, I think there is the more orchestral,
the main version. Batman theme. When you see Batman on the top of that building, or Batman's about to save the day,
I do know.
Do you remember what you hear?
I have the theme. It's the dun dun. It's a very broad out.
It's 2 notes.
Yeah.
It's a minor third. 2 notes. It goes dun dun. Minor third.
Minor third.
And that's it. It's literally 2 notes on the piano. Ba ba. Very Hans Zimmer-y. Someone that doesn't understand.
I don't think I ever caught that. That's
no one that understands. I hate to say, someone that doesn't understand music wouldn't be able to write, some incredible violin run or whatever to fill that in, for the Batman theme. But it's so simple, but it works. It's great. It's very simple. But at the same time, it's just what else are you gonna put there?
Right.
You is there room for anything more than 2 notes?
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking, wow, I feel like that was a missed opportunity for something a little bit more complex. But then I also think, but I don't think there's any more time.
You can't like
because I think
overpower
it would change the pacing.
Yeah.
They would have to go back and change the other music in the cues. You know.
Well, and because it's such a pivotal visual moment in the movie,
Yeah.
you don't want to overpower your visuals with sound.
Detractive.
Yeah, but
I
it
mean-
almost sounds like he's just doing a dynamic change. He goes bah, and then he crescendos into bah, and then he crescendos.
I mean, if you want to like look into it, maybe you can say, well, oh, it's being Bruce Wayne into the now Batman. It's now the tone has changed of the film.
Ah.
But like that's probably looking into it way too much.
You
And
can-
I
you
think
can
it was just
start
Hans Zimmer
another
just going
subreddit
like
about that.
that and just being like, what?
He's
Hey,
probably
sounds
sitting
pretty
at his
good.
MIDI keyboard.
Yeah.
He was
Just
like, "Oh man, I gotta come up with some melodies. Got to get it to my boys
like,
tomorrow.
let's do tomorrow.
Got to get it to my boys so they can score it for me."
Yeah. It's 11:55.
Like,
due by
like-
11:59.
yeah. Got to turn it in on courses.
Yeah, no, I remember. I mean, with sound design, I remember reading back freshman year is that the human ear starts tuning out sounds after you have 7 playing at the same time. So if you have 7 things playing at once, that 8th thing's just gonna get tuned out. It's not
It's
important.
maxed out.
Yeah, you just can't physically focus on more.
Or if it's a 88-piece orchestra, it sounds like one thing.
Yeah, it just kind of becomes one.
Yeah.
It's hard to then distinguish individual
One thing.
instruments unless they are actually singled out.
Yeah.
But
Solo.
I don't know, I think the scores, like the memorable scores, they're not complicated. But one that I do think is, it's not complicated, it's just arpeggios and things like that, is the Interstellar. You have the song Coward, and it's when Matt Damon is trying to get back into their spaceship and like take over. And it's got this giant runs going up down the organ. And it just constantly gets louder and higher up, and it's like building.
Is that when everything's like spinning?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's it. That's a loud scene.
There's a channel on YouTube called Listening In, and they do incredibly, like, these videos are incredibly well produced, and they do in-depth analysis of movie scores, and the guy does Interstellar, and he talks about how beautifully simple it is, and it's just organ,
Yeah.
and some big Hans Zimmer pads.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, the
stuff.
organ, piano. They recorded with the actual organ though.
Yeah, and I that's something that I can imagine Hans Zimmer actually doing that himself, because I read an article, and when I say I've read an article, I like to do a lot of research on guys before I form an opinion about them. So it's like I hear people talking crap about Hans Zimmer, so I'm like, I'm going to do my own research.
Yeah.
So I've done a ton of research, and I found an article about Jungle Cruise. Or it's not Jungle Cruise. I'm getting James Newton Howard movies and Hans Zimmer movies confused now.
They're all
Because
the
they've
same.
worked together. So they're basically the same person, but they're totally not. Definitely not.
One's
But
German.
they were, how I said earlier how James Newton Howard bowed out of the third movie because his style is not, because Hans Zimmer is very new. And James Newton Howard describes himself as a 20th century guy, 20th century classical composer. That's his thing. And, it's, his music is so orchestral. It's so much different from Hans, because Hans relies on so many electronic elements, and James, literally in this article, is like, yeah, I don't know how to do that, but
He knows music.
But it's interesting because he said so they moved their studios, or they went to a studio where they could work together, and he was like, so I was writing my cues in my studio, and Hans was in his studio. And then I would go in there and we'd talk about a cue, or I would start a cue and he would finish it, which is just so fascinating to me, because I feel like only one person can work on a cue at a time. Otherwise, because like I've worked on cues and it's like, wow, this is really complicated. I can't imagine having to ask someone else what they think, because I can barely make up my mind what I want to do because there's so many options. But it's interesting because James Newton Howard would be in his studio, Hans would be in his studio, and he'd go over and be like, yo, what's up? How's it coming? I finished this cue. Why don't you finish it? You do the second half, which sounds a bit weird to me.
Right. Yeah.
But James Newton Howard is also saying Hans Zimmer was actually in the studio. He wasn't just chilling on his yacht and some guy was doing it for him.
He showed up,
which I found was really interesting. So it's not like Hans Zimmer he's not doing
He's
anything.
involved. Yeah.
He's probably sitting at his computer, writing the music on his computer, and James Newton Howard was in the other room with a massive staff pad and a piano writing the rest of it,
Yeah.
So I think it's like Zimmer's kind of just giving like, here's an idea. I'm Zimmer. It's good. And now you guys got to make something with
But
this.
it sounds like Zimmer, like those soundtracks, the first two. I mean, I would say the first one is more James Newton Howard.
Even the
second
title.
one, the second one is Hans Zimmer. It just is, and it's like
It loses the
James
orchestra.
Newton Howard just kind of gets his name on there, and James Newton Howard is an incredibly talented. It's like James Newton Howard when it comes to, being an actual composer. James Newton Howard is up here, and Hans Zimmer is down here. But
Big
probably
gap.
when it comes to a businessman and producer, Hans Zimmer,
Big
is,
flop.
Zimmer's
they flip.
The biggest name besides Williams.
Yeah.
And I mean, Zimmer has an internship or a mentorship program as well, where he just mentors a ton of new composers, which is kind of smart on his part because then he finds the one that he's like, "You are
that's
good."
a good noise. You want to work for me?
wanna
He's
work-
like a pop producer, but it's
Yeah.
for film music.
And then he gets his name on. I mean, it's like a
DJ
doctor,
DJ Khaled, everything, dude. He's so
Yeah.
smart too.
Oh yeah,
Well, Pitbull as well.
Pitbull.
And it's like-
these
Yeah.
they're great businessmen.
It's easy to replicate that business model.
But
where
it's
it's
similar
just
with like Doctor, like Papers. It's like anyone that did anything
oh
on it
my
gets their
gosh.
name on it.
Yeah, it's insane.
So then you can say, "Oh, I was on this paper," and it's like you were there for a day, but sure.
Yeah,
But I mean,
for like
it's
research
like
papers.
anything, yeah,
Oh my goodness.
helps with business.
The list of names is just like, bah, and then it's just like, then they cite who they were referencing, and that's like 5 pages, and you're just like,
Jeez.
okay, so this paper, which everybody knows the answer to start with, has 600 people involved. They're like, yeah,
Mhm.
like,
Been
okay.
funded for like a few $1 million for 30, 40 years. You're
Yeah,
like,
it's
"All right,
insane.
really,
Money well spent.
taxpayer money.
The
But,
USGS.
I don't know. Interstellar is like Zimmer, where I was like, I like this, but also I know people don't like Interstellar. Not everyone likes it.
Like the movie or like
not everyone likes the movie.
Well, I mean, if you're not really into like space exploration or like, that type of like thriller,
Heavy sci-fi.
it's definitely gonna be a miss.
But it's
you
more
know?
of a movie about a dad and a daughter than
Yeah.
anything else. Like, that's the main theme, is the dad having to leave, but then trying to get back home.
Yeah.
That, what is it, like the black hole scene? That
Oh,
was
it's,
trippy.
Oh, and
yeah.
the bookcase.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Tesseract.
Oh, it's so cool.
Yeah,
That was weird.
that's
Is Interstellar a book?
no. So it was written by Nolan and his brother, also last name Nolan.
He also did the
No
Batman movies.
way.
They wrote him.
Yeah.
But the ending, so the brother wrote most of the movie, but that ending where it just goes like straight into like the really this is
Circle World.
like Tesseract. That was Chris.
Oh, okay.
I like
He
that.
took over.
The crazier it can be with sci-fi, the better. I mean,
I loved the baseball
gosh.
scene. That was cool.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Just
Oh,
like-
in the end,
Hits the baseball and then it goes like
Yeah.
straight up.
I just think that's so cool. I just love sci-fi because it takes you somewhere.
well, sci-fi is great.
Have
Yeah.
you read the Stephen King, like, what's it called? The Dark Towers or whatever?
I've not.
I've heard they're good.
They-
They did the movie with
the
Idris
movie
Elba.
flopped.
Yeah, it didn't do good.
They did
Really?
really bad with translating the book to the movie. Like that happens so often with sci-fi. I
Yeah.
hope that's why I hope the new Dune is like they do a good job with that. So far, it sounds like
I think
it'll be
it's gonna
promising.
I think with
pretty killer.
Dennis
Villeneuve?
Villeneuve.
Villeneuve?
It's so hard to pronounce.
Hey,
Hey
his
Siri,
name.
how do you say
It's
this?
French or
Den dog.
something.
I think he's
It's
French, yeah.
European.
It may be Denis.
No,
Oh, no.
I saw.
Because it's like Les Miserables,
Oh,
but it's
yeah.
Les Mis,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
Denis?
it'd be like Les Miserables or something like that.
Les
It'd just be the very
Les
end would
Miserables.
be cut off. I think people just shorten
Miserables.
to Les Mis so they don't screw it up.
Yeah.
The Miserables.
Welcome to
Yeah.
America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, with Dennis, let's just call him Dennis.
Dennis.
Make it easy.
Sorry, man.
Oh
Oh.
gosh. But yeah, Dennis he does not mess with his movies, and he doesn't have. He's got different guys for every movie for scoring. Like he doesn't stick with one guy. Like thinking about it.
Yeah.
You have 2049.
I don't know. I don't know if he's
Yeah, I think he
used
does
different
switch
guys.
around
Yeah.
with scores. Like everything's a little bit different.
Well, every movie's different.
Yeah, but you find people you work with that are good.
That's true.
And you want to stay with them.
That's true.
Where it's like what's his name? Justin Hurwitz. He did La La Land and First Man.
Yeah.
Those are good scores. I like that.
First Man was cool.
Yeah.
First Man was interesting because it uses the
Theremin.
theremin, which I mean it makes sense that it's in the movie because
It's that time.
That time it was supposed to be the instrument of the future,
But then
and
synthesizer.
it was also with Neil Armstrong took the like the main guy that did theremin music. He took that record on to the moon
Oh.
to play.
Really?
So it
didn't
was
know
like the first music that was on the plane. or plane.
The
Wait, like
spaceship.
his
Spaceship.
wait, what did he? So what did he take?
It was gosh, what was the
I
song?
mean, if this was in the '60s,
Gotta
did
be
he
like a
just have like
record.
a vinyl?
Like a
they might have
vinyl.
cassettes. Did those cassettes in
No.
the 60s?
No.
Those 80s?
I think they were probably portable records.
The small dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The single
Well, I mean,
tracks or-
don't you need like? I mean, I guess there's like power ports in the
Yeah,
spaceship.
they-
They just plugged it in.
You got
I remember there
bike,
was
turn the bike.
I forget we went to space in the '60s.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
What have we
right?
done since then?
Not
It's
much.
not in
you know.
space exploration. Like
Well, the shuttle program,
the
ISS.
that thing's breaking.
Hubble.
We do have the Space Force now.
We do
Yeah.
have Space Force.
That's
When
cool.
aliens
We're just the Air
attack.
Force.
Oh,
All the
It's
same
like the
ranks.
oh gosh, what's that movie? Independence Day.
Oh,
They
yeah.
made the sequel,
I
Independence Day Resurrection. I think is
never
what it's called.
watched it.
I
I was
didn't
like,
But
I
literally,
knew it
it's
was
like
gonna
the
be bad.
Space Force in that movie. Like we have like outposts in space to protect us from
Oh.
another alien attack.
But
perfect.
and
there's
all the
clearly a
nations,
movie.
we all like. It's kind of like after 9/11, all of America was united,
Right.
and then it's like after Independence Day or what
The whole
when
world
we
Yeah.
killed the aliens, everyone came together. So
Yeah.
in the sequel, it's like
Oh,
everybody's
yeah.
working together
Nice.
I mean, it
to
definitely
defend the world, which is kind of cool.
be like that if like we found out there's aliens. We'd probably have to be like, all right,
Okay.
probably bigger fish to
Our
fry here.
beef
Bigger
is not
defense
as
budget.
important.
It's
Yeah.
our, it's really big, but we gotta make it bigger.
Yeah, we need
Yeah, like,
space.
How many nukes? Okay.
We're gonna shoot
Space.
nukes. We're gonna nuke the moon.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot.
It's gonna be dark at night.
Well, they were gonna do what Elon Musk wanted to nuke the Mars to terraform it.
I mean, that
It was
that's
gonna take
an
like over
option.
1,000 years, but he wants to do it. And it's Elon.
I'm
He
sure
might.
Elon is immortal.
did the
already.
math.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like he gets in a cryo chamber every night.
He's gotten younger.
He has
throughout
the
the years. His
yeah,
hairline has
well,
grown
it's,
back.
It's the stress.
Yeah,
you
I
know.
Oh, I think that's an easy fix right there.
Yeah.
Just a little hair
With
transplant.
keeps.
with our sponsor.
Oh, wow. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you. One day.
Right now, it's the plant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nature.
Yeah. It's super real. We water it every day.
They're
we
what are those
wouldn't-
plants called that live in like the desert? Starts like a
Succulents?
pea or something, maybe a succulent. Sure, that take like no effort to keep them
Cactus?
alive.
Like cacti?
Well, a cacti, but there's like a specific like the
Oh.
classification of it.
I just know everyone's got the little succulent plants.
Yeah, they stay alive pretty good.
Yeah, this one will stay alive probably forever, if I had to guess.
I'd say it takes about 200
Is that a real
years.
plant?
no.
That is
Okay, I
that
was
is
like,
all
wow.
plastic.
made in Sweden.
I didn't catch the sarcasm
No.
because I saw like the little dirt and I was like, that looks like foam.
I think it's just plastic.
It's
I think
plastic,
hard
through and through.
Yeah. But it looks cool.
I mean, that's the fourth guest on the show. Or
Yeah,
the fourth
it was-
person on the show.
Hey,
I think
bud.
$3.
Yeah, it was
Wow,
$2.99.
that's such
Yeah.
that's such an affordable
I know.
piece of content.
It
I mean,
looks so good.
I was at a farmer's market, right? And there was these two people walking by. It was older, like couple, I don't know, maybe late 60s, and they were walking by this lady selling plants. And they literally stopped, and there was like this, I don't even know what that was called, but like a potted plant that was just like cascading down the side of like her booth. And they're like,
Gosh.
that is the healthiest plant I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, what the heck does a healthy plant look like? It's like green the whole way through. And I was just like, yep, that's a well-fed plant for sure. And then it was like, whatever, buy one, get one free. So I was like, what is that?
That
I
was
don't-
your first
like,
thought.
I was like, what the heck is
That's a healthy plant.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
mean, cool. Like, trees are healthy, right?
I don't know. I mean, the
If
trees
it's
in
a
the
healthy
area,
plant, was it inside?
there's no way you're porting
So,
like a
I mean-
healthy plant around like every Sunday to a farmer's
Yeah, like,
market.
how would that...
That's gotta be bad for it.
Maybe they just didn't have a good eye for healthy
It's
plants.
probably just really depressed. That's
yeah.
probably why
It's
it's,
like, I
just so
want to
droopy.
go home.
Go
It's
in
been
the actual
abused.
ground.
You guys, listen. Animals have rights.
They do.
They're not
like
animals, plants.
plants.
I was like,
Sorry,
are
I-
plants animals? Vegans? Sorry.
I mean,
Yeah, vegans don't care about the
you
plants'
fumbled.
feelings.
Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh, at the Venus flytrap.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never seen it. I just know the scene. Like everyone's
I
seen
mean,
that.
dude, come on. Plants are alive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, isn't there a frequency where they're all like screaming?
Something like
What?
that.
Isn't that a thing?
What's,
Or am I thinking of? Am I like thinking of a movie I've seen, and then I left the theater and had a weird dream and
It's
thought it
probably
was
like
real?
one of
or
those
something?
horror movies where like the plants actually are communicating.
Well, there's frequencies that
Yeah.
that we can't hear.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
They've done research about this where they play different frequencies to test like the responsiveness in plants to them, and there is some like correlation, but like
See?
the margin of error is also like about the
man.
results.
I feel so bad. I've torn so many weeds up. You
Well, that's
out
what
of
like
my parents'
grass.
yard.
Is that new?
We're probably just
cut,
screaming,
you know?
screaming at me.
Like a Harry Potter, like
like, "Mom,
those
no."
plants, you take them out of the ground, and like if you hear it, you pass out or whatever.
Yeah. Neville or Neville.
Neville Longbottom
Yeah.
didn't get his,
Longbottom.
He didn't get the
earmuffs
earrings.
on.
Yeah.
Neville.
I mean, that's like such like a well-written name. Like
Neville
for a guy,
Longbottom.
it's like he's gonna be sort of.
Oh
like
man,
the
talk
short
about
end
a
of
segue.
It's like
Wow, that's insane. Now
Well,
we're talking about Harry Potter.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Historically, Neville, I think, was named after the Prime Minister Neville.
the prime minister.
Yeah, he was
no.
Prime Minister Neville. I just know his name is Neville.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, and he was the guy that went over to talk to Hitler and to tell him, "Hey, could you like
Not.
stop going into other countries and like, I don't know."
It's funny how they were like, "Oh yeah, let's just go talk to him."
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, and they had him
Civilized.
sign a treaty and says, "I'm not gonna go invade the Rhineland and go into Czechoslovakia. We're good now."
But then
And then 2 months
next
later,
day-
Yeah.
I mean, like if you were trying to conquer Europe, I'd say that would be one of the smartest moves. Because like they would lower their guard. They'd be like,
Oh, yeah.
threat's done. They signed the treaty. But
Yeah.
then the next day, you're like,
Yeah.
war crime, roll the tanks.
turns out they are crazy.
Mhm. That's what they
So-
did with Russia. Is like Stalin and Hitler hated each other, and then they signed the treaty so he wouldn't have to fight two fronts at the same time. And then halfway through, why not invade Russia in the middle of winter? What
that
could
was
go
a
wrong?
terrible flop. My goodness.
Gosh, it blows my mind.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Operation Barbarossa.
Is that what it was?
That was the beginning of the two-front war.
Like-
now you got me thinking about like World War II movies, like Operation Finale.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
I haven't either, but like I always see clips for it,
Mm.
like popping up in my recommended, and I'm like,
On
I gotta go see
YouTube
it.
or something?
Yeah, or it's like that. There's this other movie, I think it's called The Pianist.
Oh, The Pianist. Yeah, with Adrian Brody.
Yes, Adrian Brody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the youngest actor to get Best Actor.
Wow.
The Academy, yeah, for that
Good
movie.
for him. What else has he been?
He
'Cause,
was
like,
a
I know
villain
of him.
in Peaky Blinders in like the third or fourth
Oh,
season.
that's a
third
great
season.
show. That's a very well acted show.
Yeah, he was an Italian guy. He tried a little too hard to do like a Godfather accent, like with like the
Forget about
you know
it.
no like you know how it's like the they with,
Maybe they should have gotten Nolan. Would have been
with the
a little-
Godfather. They like the
little Italian Asian kid. He's like,
the cotton balls in their mouth, to make that like
Oh.
super that sound.
back of the mouth.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait, that's a thing.
Like and like the Godfather, like damn, I forget the guy's name. This looks bad on me, being a film guy. But the guy that played the Godfather,
In
the
The
original
Godfather.
guy,
Oh, Marlon Brando.
Marlon Brando. There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
He, like, they
I know
say,
my
like-
I know my stuff.
He had like cotton balls in his mouth to get that
Oh.
accent.
Oh, that explains so much.
Yeah.
That's why he looked so weird.
Yeah. So then
That's
all
why
that,
it was always like the back of his cheeks were just like.
Like they had cotton balls in them.
I was like,
Yeah.
he had a great jawline.
so
That
he
makes
had
sense.
that accent, but then Adrian Brody in Peaky Blinders goes for that, and it's like, it's Adrian Brody. He does not look like he has that accent. But
Because I mean,
He's
Adrian
good.
Brody's like a tall, dark, handsome kind of guy, right?
yeah, he doesn't look like Al Pacino.
He's not a he's not a short, fat guy
No, he's
with
not.
slick back hair.
He's
Yeah,
a skinny
right.
Italian guy. It's weird.
Ma, what you got me doing there?
Nolan's Italian.
I am, yeah.
Yeah.
That
Like,
makes a lot of sense.
a certain percentage. I don't know.
You'd
what
never
it
know.
is.
Definitely got that Mediterranean vibe.
Yeah, it's got the.
Mediterranean vibes go well in Southern California.
Well, I saw something on Instagram like a month ago where there's only a little bit of the world that has the Mediterranean temperament, like the temperature and the ecosystem.
Like the
And-
Mediterranean.
Yeah. So we're at the same latitude as the Mediterranean
Oh.
Sea.
So that
So
makes
that's
sense.
why like the mountains here look really similar to like in Greece.
Yeah.
Things like that. Just because we're at the same latitude to the sun.
Have you guys ever been to Italy?
Yes.
I don't think.
Where
so,
have you been in Italy?
Rome. We were on a cruise ship, so we got in Rome, and then we went all the way down the coast down to Sicily, and then we went to Greece, and then
Okay.
ended in Turkey.
Yeah, because I've been to the Amalfi Coast, which is a
alright.
big tourist.
That's where all the
place.
yachts are.
Yeah, that's where a lot of Americans and British tourists go.
Been to Monaco?
I have not.
It was interesting.
Yeah, I feel like we've talked about this before, but I've never seen like when I went to the Amalfi Coast, I didn't see like I wasn't where all the yachts were or are, I should say. Definitely saw some
They're always around.
floating around.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen a lot of yachts, out here in Malibu.
There was one that
Live,
just
so.
passed by a couple days ago. It was like
There's a
100 foot.
picture of me. We went diving down at Point Doom,
All right.
and there was literally so we walked past the point, and so I'm like in front of the point. Like here's me, and then the point's over here, and there's a
South
yacht.
of it.
There's a yacht that had been like we were walking up the beach and the yacht was over here. And so by the time we got up here, I turned around and he was about to disappear around the point. I was like, dude, get a picture of me. So there's me holding my diving fins or whatever, just like,
Jumped
and there's
off
just
the
like this
yacht.
massive yacht.
Oh, that's
And it's
sick.
like Jeff Bezos dropped me off. You
Jeff
know?
Bezos is building a $400 million yacht.
that like the like totally
green.
zero.
Do billionaires
Yeah.
build yachts just because they have nothing else to do with their
Yes.
money?
Gotta get the tax right
Most
off.
definitely.
Who
yeah.
wants to hang out on a yacht? I don't want to end up like
Oh, they're
the Wolf
cool.
of Wall Street. Like I don't want to end up like that.
Oh, like getting
just-
swamped in a
Because that
storm.
actually happened. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
his yacht sank.
And-
I mean,
insurance.
that's just bad judgment call.
Yeah.
Like storms of that size, you can see them
Mhm.
so far away.
And most-
They're not like moving that fast
Like,
where
if
you just
you're
can't tell what's
going-
happening.
Out into the open ocean with a yacht, though, you purposefully say, all right, I'm a billionaire. I'm going to get on my private jet that I flew out here and fly to wherever I need to go, and the yacht will meet
Show
me.
up in a couple days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't ride out the storms usually with your yacht.
Isn't it in the point of the yacht is just like say they're going to like Miami.
You get
They
to
fly
go
from
in-
New York down to Miami, and then you can just stay on the yacht.
Yeah, and then you go down to the Bahamas and you sail down.
Sail down.
Motors.
See, Garrett knows these things. I don't know about these things.
You gotta plan.
Oh yeah, and it depends what kind of yacht. Like how big is it? You know.
And the other thing
I
is,
think Garrett wants to have a yacht one day.
Almost definitely,
no
yeah.
doubt, no doubt.
But can I afford a
Well, I feel like
$200
Garrett
million
has a
yacht?
boat, right? You
I've got a little 18-foot Lund. Yeah.
yeah, but like big ass yacht,
Me,
right?
not
Not
is that
yet.
what you is that what you aspire after?
Oh, if I could have a, well, see, you look at private jets and you go, wow, a G700, that's like $80 million.
He knows the models. I don't.
Like all
I know nothing about this.
The
I know
Gulf-
Gulfstream. That's
yeah.
it.
So the
That's all I know.
G700 is their top of the line right
That
now.
one they haven't
It
even
just
released
came out,
it.
yeah.
Like there's not any of them out.
I think they might
like
just
two.
been released. So
Do you
there's
guys talk
also-
about private jets like you talk about sports cars? Is that what's going on?
Well, yeah, but we're actually going up to the next level. You see, you go on your $80 million jet, that's a status symbol. But when you go fly your $80 million jet to your $300 million 300-foot plus yacht, now that's saying something.
No. You
That's a
take
flex.
you take
Well,
the,
you take the
you
helicopter
You take
from
the
the
jet.
airport.
You take
Yeah.
the jet, and then you take your helicopter to the yacht,
Yeah.
and then you take the yacht, and then you get like the little boat that comes with the yacht.
Well, no, your helicopter lands on the
It
yacht.
lands
that's
on
what I'm
the
saying.
yacht.
No, that's what I'm saying.
But
You
you
take
also have boats on the yacht.
Yeah, exactly.
you
and then you have
multiple.
to take the boat.
And then you have
from
a
the yacht.
submarine
You can actually.
in the
Those
bottom.
are yeah.
There's
Well,
different models
there
of
are
yachts.
ones where like they're like, oh, I want my kid to be proficient in submarine language or whatever. I want them to be able to pilot a submarine. Literally, I watched well, you know that show Below Deck?
Yeah.
There's like an episode where they're on this yacht and the yacht owner's on the yacht and he's like, yeah, so my kid goes down and practices in the sub every day. It's like,
Weird flex, but
Yeah.
okay.
yeah, I've watched a lot of like yacht
We
documentaries.
we know some of the people that were on Below Deck. We met them.
Really?
We did.
Yeah, we were on a boat actually back in
Oh,
2019, and the
yeah.
captain was on the show, and a few of the crew members
Yeah, I remember.
on a little boat we were on.
Yeah, that's
And,
interesting TV. That's TV like I've never seen in my life.
Yeah,
It's so completely different from
It's
any
very
other
fake.
reality TV I've ever seen.
yeah, it's all scripted.
Yeah,
Ah.
I can't watch it. Like the whole thing where they like go on shore
Mhm.
and they have like big fights. It's like this is totally orchestrated.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like people like
Yeah.
audiences can't watch dating shows anymore because it's so scripted. It's the
Dude,
same with
have-
that show.
Have you seen how many new dating shows there
Yes.
are? It's like
Have you seen the Cody Co video
it's
where
a,
he talks
it's
about?
a plague,
I
dude.
mean, there's literally a movie. There's a show. I think it's on HBO Max called F Boy Island.
yeah,
But it's
yeah.
not F. It's actually
It's-
like
yeah, they
it's
have
the
the
F
word.
word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's terrible. And
And
they
then
did,
there's
like,
the Naked and Afraid.
and Single.
Yes.
Like, whoa,
Yes.
you can't just
The
add
Nolans
that.
know.
You can't
Dude,
just
the
add
Nolans
that.
know.
Oh my god, like people, like I think it's also like with the pandemic, people just like their ability to like interact with people has like decreased. But
Oh,
like
yeah.
to the point of which you're watching reality TV and you're just like, that's how people act. Like you can't just buy that. Like come
Yeah.
on.
No,
Terrible writing.
I'd
And the
say-
scoring for them, my gosh, don't even get me
I
started.
think it's just stock. I think it's stock royalty free
yeah.
music. They probably bought a pack for like
Yeah.
a couple $100.
Yeah, like,
Just
pop
toss
it
them
in.
there.
They know they just go royalty free music on YouTube and they're just like,
Yeah.
yeet.
They didn't have the budget to hire Hans Zimmer, unfortunately.
They spent it all on
They
getting
did.
the name.
They did.
Yeah,
What is
Yeah.
and like
they
the,
didn't have $20 million to hire
To
Hans
lay it
Zimmer
around.
studio. They
they're
didn't
just-
have the money for remote control productions.
It's like I mean, horror movies, right? They're like super cheap to make. Like probably the dating shows are so cheap.
well the
People
lighting's
want to
really
be
easy.
on them. What's because all
Well,
it's
people go
reality.
on there for free, right?
Yeah, it's everything's all the actors are on there just to get
exposure.
But they're also like 10s, so it's very competitive. Like the likelihood of me getting on The Bachelor as a 5,
you could do it.
as a 5'9"
Like,
guy.
watch this.
See, that's the thing though, is when you like we watch Bachelor in Paradise like once a week as like a joke because it's hilarious.
Once a week,
and like the show, and the show's great because the show doesn't take itself seriously. But like these guys are. It's not 6 foot and over. It's 6'3" and above.
Oh yeah, and they're diced.
And then they're huge.
They're diced.
Completely
so like
unnatural.
like they do have shorter guys that are like maybe 5'11".
They get voted off.
But they but like if I walked onto that set,
looking up.
Imagine me.
I
dude.
would-
5'6"
all
and
the-
a half.
dude,
I would die.
all the girls would just be taller than me. You
Like,
know,
there's
because
no
these
problem
girls,
with that.
because like they can't have a 5'6" girl on that show.
Yeah.
They have to be like 5'9" and above.
That's 'cause, like, all the
Because
models are, like,
when they're
super
walking
tall.
on the beach, you can't have a guy that's
Huge,
like 5'7",
You're just,
and
like,
then this
holding
tiny
hands.
little girl that's like holding his hand like a little child. You know, like
The
they
silhouette
can't do
shot
that.
wouldn't be good.
No, I mean, it's just they're all good for making money.
Yeah, that's all. That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's the entire business is just
Yeah.
making money. Which
So,
I
ain't
mean,
too bad.
you're not gonna get your yacht if you're not making money.
No.
It's simple as that.
But most of those guys that are making those shows aren't making an insane amount of money.
Yacht money.
Yeah,
Well, a
they're
lot
not
of those
making yacht
producers
money.
live out here in the Boo.
Oh yeah,
So
Yeah.
they're doing good. They can get a boo house, but they ain't getting no yacht.
Yeah. Watch.
maybe if they saved that money,
Yeah,
They invest compound
they didn't
interest.
spend on that $10 million.
there's no point in buying a Malibu
mansion.
house. It's like
Malibu's gonna be underwater in a couple thousand years.
probably
No doubt.
I mean,
Yeah.
my biggest fear coming back, post COVID was not COVID. It
Was
was
it earthquake?
It was falling into the ocean.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
The
Because I
water's-
watched 2012,
Oh,
Oh,
don't
yeah,
do
yeah.
that. Yeah.
and that movie really psyched me out, man.
Mm.
I'm
Like the
surprised
the last scene where the arcs are. Have you guys seen 2012?
Yeah.
Like the arcs are chilling.
Yeah.
And the guys are just at the top of the mountain, and they're
Just
the
water.
only guys that survived. And then they're like, oh yeah, so Africa's cool. Africa's
Like,
good. The
hold
rest
on
of
a
the world
second.
just sunk, but Africa's good because apparently it's higher in elevation. So they all just go to Africa.
No, but it's like,
But
I'm
like,
like-
sea level, guys.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if that's how this works.
yeah.
Because they took Los Angeles and they just went whoop,
Oh, yeah.
just like straight into the ocean. I'm like, okay, that was casual.
I
And they're
mean-
literally like driving. And there's like, I have so many problems with this movie. Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
great. It's so cool.
Yeah.
But of course, there's like issues. Like,
The-
he's in
yeah.
a limo, and
Mm.
the car is like this, but the road is like this, and somehow he's still moving. And
Front
it,
wheel
like,
drive. Front wheel
yeah,
drive.
it's like,
Don't
wow.
question it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The
Never question a movie.
for Los Angeles, or not Los Angeles, Malibu, there's some protection because the San Andreas Fault is on the other side of that mountain range. So like the mountains will kind of help with the dampening of like, unless it's
Yeah.
like gigantic.
I mean, I watched San Andreas, and
that's with the Rock, right?
That's what terrifies me.
yeah.
Yeah, because when I tried surfing my freshman year,
Yeah.
I felt like the Rock at the bottom of that wave when I was going up against those waves
In San
at
Francisco?
County Line, like literally I'm like, oh shoot, like I'm going, like this is it. And
That's
it's like the
hilarious.
Rock in his boat and he's going up the mountain.
200 foot
And
mount-
there's this boat and it just goes whoop. And
Yeah.
it's like the Rock's like, okay, we're chilling. We're totally in a much lighter boat that could just be blown over, but this yacht just flipped over.
Yeah,
We're fine.
exactly.
It's like, yeah, but
Zodiac.
I'm on a
Well,
surfboard.
the Rock
you
is
it's like,
stacked. So
The Rock probably weighed down the boat.
he probably held it.
this is
Yeah.
true.
He's just built.
But I feel
different.
like once the wind got up and under it, I think the wind
toast.
win,
Yeah,
'cause
Rock's
the Rock
gone.
is only so big.
Yeah.
He can only take up so many atoms.
Yeah, that's true.
He's Black,
Black
Adam.
Adam. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right,
That movie's
dude. I
coming out.
totally forgot about this
That was
movie.
a perfect drop right
Yeah.
there.
Hey, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Segue.
I don't know how that'll do. I mean, it's a Rock. It's gonna do.
It's
well.
gonna be yeah.
I'm gonna go see it.
Yeah.
I mean, I went and saw Jungle Cruise.
Yeah, just for the Rock.
Yes.
Dang.
I haven't
thought
seen
you were
Jungle Cruise.
genuinely interested in that.
Oh, dude, the chemistry with Emily Blunt was really good.
Yeah.
There's even a scene where he's playing guitar. So
Really?
James
Oh, you
Ian
had
Howard
to.
put guitar on the soundtrack,
Yeah.
like
Alright.
classical guitar.
I thought he learned how to play that. Was that not the
That-
case?
That was he was like
His
literally,
hands weren't
they
even
were
there.
like, Rock,
He's just
move
like-
your massive sausage fingers, and he was just went.
They're like
His
perfect.
fingers
We'll
are
just-
so big
they're
they
like, we'll
move in
CGI it.
slow mo
He's
because
got
they're so
CGI.
Soviet fingers,
they're so big.
little sausages.
That's
but
funny.
No, they're not little sausages.
No, they're big
They
sausages.
are brats. I mean, like, dude, his thumb is probably the size of this microphone. You
Nice
know?
to meet you. Just like shaking the
Big guy.
Shaq's hand.
Yeah.
Well, have you seen him next to Shaq? He does not look big.
You look small?
Yeah.
Damn.
How tall is The Rock? Like
Not as tall as
6'3"?
Shaq.
He's 6'3".
Something like that. But it's like I saw the pictures like him and Kevin Hart,
That's
and then
funny.
it's The Rock and Shaq, and then I think it was Shaq and Yao Ming,
Oh,
yeah,
and it was
yeah.
like just
huge.
But he's
big.
also a giant.
Oh,
Yao
amongst
Ming's
yeah.
men. I mean,
huge.
Yeah, he played for the Rockets, right?
I have no clue.
I think he
I don't
did.
follow basketball too
Back in like
closely.
when I was elementary school kid, I was like, that guy's
you know,
tall.
it's funny you say I don't follow sports because it's like I either follow everything going on in the music industry
or everything
and
sports.
keep up with that, or I keep up with sports.
I make
just-
sure not to do anything.
I
Yeah.
just got invited to. This is my first time doing this. This fantasy football, and there was like a draft or something like a couple days ago, and I have no clue how to play. And the only thing that I was told is you have to get points, right? And so for the draft, you can sort like the characters, or like what are they called, players, by points that they're like expected to output. So I just click the top guys. I'm like, these guys are terrible at this. I'm just keep clicking the top guy. I got like 6 quarterbacks, which apparently is a bad thing, but like after the first week of playing, I'm negative. I have negative 3 points,
boy.
That's
and the
good.
closest guy above me has 60. So I'm really really bad at this. Like I don't know what's going on, but
It's a slow game.
yeah,
slow
we're
burn.
long game in this fantasy football thing, and I am not
Yeah.
You're in it
talented
for
at
the long
all.
haul, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
You
Let's
make a
take
lot
a
of
minute.
trades.
Yeah, trades and stuff. I was told
Yeah.
to trade. I don't know how to trade.
You're like, I don't know how the app works.
I'm like, dude, you're gonna up piece.
I remember doing that like one year back in elementary school, and I didn't know what was going on.
Dude, I don't know.
Whatever the
It's
cool.
a lot, man. It's a lot to keep up with.
NFL's
Yeah.
like those guys. They don't make mistakes, so it's not like too fun to watch. But like college sports, those are sick
Mm.
because it's like they have these huge stadiums. Like some like the largest stadiums are like college event
Yeah.
stadiums, and the amount of students that they have just like screaming and cheering the entire time, and it's like that's nuts. And then they make errors because they're college players. They're not like professional where they're like what's his name, Tom Brady, where he's been like
What's his
seven
name?
What's his name?
seven
What's that
Super
guy's name?
Bowls, running on blueberries and like everything perfect.
Steroids.
Steroids, you know, stuff.
Whatever.
Tom Brady on steroids? Oh, he would never.
Never.
He got younger
Yeah.
as he got older. I don't know.
Younger, stronger, past his
I
prime.
think him and Elon Musk are immortal.
There's
Or
something.
they've unlocked
There's
Yeah.
something.
immortality.
LeBron too. He's just getting better as he gets older. It's crazy.
Dude, yeah,
He
like
recovers
I think
so
it's
fast.
just because he's just bigger.
dude, he
He's
spends
just
$1
getting
million.
bigger.
Yeah.
He spends $1 million every year on recovery.
Yeah.
That's it. I feel like it'd be more.
That's
How do you
a
spend
The
lot.
guy,
$1 million?
dude, the guy
That's a
makes
lot of icy
over.
hot.
I bet he makes over 50 mil. I know he gets paid 36 or something.
I thought it was
It's
even
probably
more.
Yeah,
As
from
it-
the team.
Well, that was a couple
Really?
years ago when I last checked up on it.
Yeah, like he gets
And then
so much.
I'm
money.
sure because Cristiano Ronaldo is the highest paid athlete in the world because football is way more
Yeah.
popular than
Worldwide.
basketball. Yeah,
International.
he makes probably 200 mil.
That's
Him,
insane.
he makes 200 mil. I think Taylor Swift makes 200 mil. I'm just talking the highest earners here, but like,
I remember Justin Bieber
Kylie.
was one time.
Kylie
really?
Jenner.
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
But it was
Taylor
only like
Swift
50
is
mil. It
next
was like
level,
that was
man.
the highest.
Yeah, dude.
Jeez.
I have friends that have seen her around
Taylor?
Nashville. Yeah,
Damn.
Oh,
back home.
I always wish we could meet Ariana Grande.
I saw
That'd be
Keith.
cool.
I was in a cafe as a kid. Well, I think this was around the time we moved. I think it was like 2012. We were moving to Nashville, and we were in a cafe, and I was 12 years old. So I didn't know what was going on in the world.
Yeah, nobody.
And so we're sitting in this cafe, and Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman walked in and sat right behind us.
Whoa.
Literally, my dad touched Keith Urban's back,
Dang.
and my dad is like sitting there like, guys, and we're like
It's
right here, and he's
happening.
like, guys, and we're like, oh, what? He's like,
Who's that?
look, and we're like, who is that? And he's like, oh, never mind, forget it.
It's like I'm wide.
And then he goes home and tells mom. She's like, oh my gosh, that's insane.
I mean, that is. I mean, we had Keith Urban here at the club around us. They had like Keith Urban come in. He's friends with a member. And first year that they tried to do this, I think like Nicole Kidman's like dad or mom passed away or someone in the family. And he had to like fly to Australia right away.
Jeez.
And so he couldn't come. And then, so we ended up getting Kenny Loggins that night.
Oh.
He was in Santa Barbara. Someone called him and said, hey, we need you right now. He's like, what?
Wait, how did they get him? Is it because they know him, or,
Yeah,
or
and-
because they're paying him a lot of money?
They know him, and they're probably paying him some money. And also John Fogerty lives here.
wow.
So we had Kenny Loggins, and he didn't have his band, so he had Keith Urban's band. And so we had Kenny Loggins play like 5 songs, and then John Fogerty came up and did some CCR, which was pretty cool.
You guys have like a performance venue?
It was just like an outdoor, grass field.
They do those. I live next to a neighborhood kind of like this place, except it's Nashville. It's not. It's not LA. Not LA level. So cool though. Like Blake Shelton lives there. Carrie Underwood lives there.
Big names?
Big names. Yeah. But they have those things where they have like Luke Bryan come and they'll have a writers round, but it's not a writers round because like they're all incredibly successful country music artists. Yeah, superstars, and they're just casually talking to like my high school friend's mom or whatever. You know, just she's drinking her wine and it's just like
it's 2 in the
wow,
afternoon.
this is the most pretentious thing ever. Like, oh my gosh. Because they act all like country and stuff, but then when they're like they go to these events, it's just so like prim and proper. But like they're wearing like a flannel and boots, but then they walk off stage and they're like very
flying back to LA.
They're very articulate and put together. They're not like, hey y'all, what's up?
Lots of draw.
Oh yeah, Jason. Actually, Jason Aldean talks like that.
Well, I mean,
nobody likes Jason Aldean. You know?
Is country still the most listened to like category of music?
Country?
I think
country music's really popular.
Country is
in
so
Australia, right?
Really?
It's so popular. I had no clue. Like Connor was talking.
Keith Urban's Australian.
Yeah.
You know, so
I'm saying with Nicole Kidman, right? I think. Oh,
is she Australian?
I think so. I thought. I don't know.
'Cause she was married to Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Back in Eyes Wide Shut era.
If you look at pictures of them, she's taller than him. So it's like Tom Cruise.
Yeah, Tom Cruise is not that tall.
He's 5'8".
Yeah.
He's a short king.
Yeah.
5'8". Wow.
Short king gang. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys should change the name of the podcast.
I think there already is a podcast.
Kevin Hart gives me so much hope.
Yeah, but Kevin Hart's jacked. I'm not saying you're not jacked, but like that dude, this man's yoked. I mean,
it's because he's
Kevin
short.
Hart
He looks bigger.
Yeah.
Less spot to put muscle on.
I will say my taller friends get jealous because they're like, your muscle definition is so much better than mine.
It's longer muscles. Like I have really long biceps. Like that's why
that's
they look so
why they look
small.
so
Yeah, I just think those are excuses. At this point, I mean, come on. We gotta hold the Nolans to a higher level here.
I'm trying my best, dude.
But country music in Canada, I know, is like a big thing. Like they love
Country
it.
music's huge everywhere, dude.
Well, I mean, how much time have you spent in Canada?
A lot.
Because you are Canadian, right? But like you live here.
Yeah,
like, you're
but
here a lot.
2 months of the year I usually be in Canada.
Okay.
But like we're in like the Midwest, so it's like the country area. It's not Saskatchewan. That's even
more
country. Like there's a guy out of Saskatchewan, Saskatoon. His name is Coulter Wall, and he's got like this super super deep voice. He's only a few years older than us, and he's like big country guy right now. I know Jason Momoa really likes him.
Yeah.
And like shouts him out.
Are you homies with Jason Momoa?
He's an interesting guy.
Aquaman
was okay.
I liked it.
Unless Amber Heard, not her. She's not
Amber
cool.
Heard, dude.
She's not cool.
I totally forgot she was in that
Free
movie.
my homie Johnny
You said
Depp.
Amber Heard, and I was like, oh yeah, that very attractive lady.
Redhead
And then I
lady.
realized the whole thing with Johnny Depp, and I was like, oh yeah, not.
She's so
not
so
cool.
pretty, but it's like the crazy pretty is just
it's on the scale.
Hot crazy Matrix. She's
After
not,
7,
not in that
there's
optimal position.
falls down.
not the unicorn.
Not they don't exist.
They don't. Have you ever seen the video, the hot to crazy scale?
The Hot Crazy Matrix? Oh, of course. I watched this the other day.
Yeah,
It's the base
the
one.
unicorn.
I was like, this is where you want to be. This is called
Yeah.
marriage.
The Goldilocks.
This is the fun zone.
Mm-hmm.
Anything past that is
Sounds
a little
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah. He's like, you want to be here. You don't want to be here. But I think it's funny how he's saying that because it's all like hypothetical. Because like,
There's some fact into it. Oh, lost my.
I don't mean to like start talking about women here, but you know, you never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, it's like a box of chocolates.
Yeah, we actually.
I didn't know if I wanted to go there.
We were looking
Let's see.
up.
It's a
Great mind-
movie.
great minds
It's a
think
movie.
alike, you know?
Yeah.
Well, we were looking up notable people at Pepperdine, like alums, and earlier today, and one of the guys that's notable was the guy that just got canceled for Jeopardy.
He was like, trying to go for
He just got
That's
Jeopardy, but
right.
then because he said something on a podcast in like 2016,
Was it y'all's podcast?
it wasn't on.
we weren't rolling back.
Yeah,
then,
it was
no.
his, and he said something about women, I think, and now he's no longer on Jeopardy.
I mean, he's not even a producer, right? Like he's gone.
He's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it's good for us.
Nah.
This might be off topic for us.
Everything we say in this is strictly satirical.
It's all.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
fake stories, made up names. We changed names for
Oh, yeah.
stories. Yeah.
I'm not gonna be able to get hired because I
You were
said
on our
stuff about Hans
podcast.
Zimmer. You know?
Yeah.
Hans Zimmer's like,
Like, oh, you tried.
explain this.
Blacklist
Like,
this guy.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Hans, I stood up for you.
Hans is the best.
I literally
Number one.
I defend this man. Like I literally saw this guy giving crap
Mhm.
to Hans Zimmer, and I wanted to DM him and be like, "Yo, let's have a conversation
Like,
about."
I respect your
this.
opinion, but no.
I don't have respect for that because it's not true. Like, you know, go do research and
I think that's like
formulate
one of
your
the
own opinion.
easiest things you can do these days is have like a small understanding about something, but really just dig yourself deep into that and then just like blast on social media like that idea. And it doesn't have to necessarily be like rooted in like some fundamental truth, but like if there is any truth, they're like, hey man, but it's right. You're just like, yeah, I guess you can be right, but
a lot of people just look at someone and then they go, oh man, that guy's such a whatever.
Yeah.
And then the other person's like, "Oh man, yeah,
you right.
Yeah, I'm not hanging out with
jealousy.
this guy."
And then they hype them up.
Yeah. It's just Twitter. It's just revolving constantly.
Twitter, I think Twitter's like no longer like social media. It's like a news platform, I think now.
No.
They're trying to like
of course.
move
of course it is.
Yeah.
And
It's Twitter.
Yeah, Facebook is
like-
definitely news.
Whoa.
Yeah.
When they do that.
Did you see Facebook has got these new like Ray-Bans glasses with a camera in it?
Yeah.
And like Google failed, so now the most trustworthy place for to get anything, Facebook is now taking over. You're like, oh,
Well,
that's
Facebook
great.
also bought Oculus
Yeah.
Rift, so.
Vive team.
But I mean, these companies got to remember they're basically running the world.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Huge.
You know, in like 5 more years, they're going to be.
I'm curious.
It's going to be Facebook cars.
No, but like when
yeah.
is like the trust busting gonna start happening?
It
'Cause,
doesn't.
like they're very, very,
yeah,
very
I
popular.
doubt. Well, it's like we were able to do this with steel.
Yeah.
With the steel barons, but I just don't know if you can do it with
The-
social
yeah.
media.
Because they'll just buy back again because it won't be run properly. They'll go out of business and they'll just start it again. And they'll just have to make subsidiary companies where they're each like privately, but it's like well,
Disney.
Facebook is still Facebook.
Disney owns so
Oh, yeah.
much stuff now.
I can't
There's
believe they
a-
let them buy Marvel. I
That was
That's some
insane.
like Illuminati level stuff right there.
Fox.
They bought Fox, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 20th
So they got
Century
got
Fox.
Spider-Man with that.
No, it's Sony.
Don't they own Sony?
Oh,
They don't
bought
own Sony.
They
Sony's
don't?
another one of the big companies.
Yeah.
And Paramount, but Paramount's small. There's
Well,
a chart.
Well, there's Universal, there's Warner Brothers, and then
Mhm.
Disney, right?
Paramount.
But nobody
Paramount's
owns
owned by
nobody owns Disney.
no Disney owns Disney,
Disney's
but
Disney.
there's also Time Warner, or Comcast is what it is.
Do they own
that owns
Warner
like
Brothers?
Warner Brothers, Paramount, all that's Comcast. I
No.
think.
What about Universal?
Universal? I
Who-
think is its
who does that?
own thing. It might honestly be Sony.
No, they got bought.
Sony.
They got bought. I think it was Sony.
I think it is Sony.
Yeah.
That's so confusing.
Because I remember like Universal, like, what is it, World? Like the amusement park?
Florida.
They had to like change a bunch of stuff there because they
yeah.
got bought.
because they had
Well,
they have
Fox.
DC rides. At
Universal's
Universal.
also Fox because Fox had Simpsons, and there's a Simpsons right at Universal. I don't know.
Okay,
it's
guys, this is
it's
really
complicated.
making my brain hurt. Like,
You gotta keep track of so
I'm
many
literally
things.
like when you started talking about the whole thing with Universal Studios and DC because I was there, like 2 summers ago, and they have like DC rides.
That's at
but
Six
like they're
Flags.
Six
There
Flags
too.
has
Six
DC.
Flags has
Yeah,
DC.
well they also
Yeah.
have them at Universal.
Really?
They've got like
'Cause
the OG Spider-Man ride at Universal.
Oh, really?
They've got the Hulk at Universal.
Whoa.
And then at Six Flags you have the
Superman.
Superman, the Green
Superman.
Lantern.
Yeah.
They got all the Joker
There's
rides.
so much.
The Riddler. I mean,
You can make
I mean,
so much money off
like
this
dude,
stuff.
these lawyers, man, are making bank.
Oh, yeah.
out of all this.
So like, you want to make
superhero
more
crap.
agreements?
Okay.
Okay.
And then now we've got so many different Batman and Joker movies.
oh yeah.
now.
yeah.
It's crazy.
And then like we were on HBO Max last night because we finished The Dark Knight Rises, and I had to look up The Dark Knight, right, to find it. And before I did that, I looked up Batman, and it just showed me all of the original DC TV movies,
all the
and a lot of
animated
them are
films.
really good actually. But there's so many of them. It just
Yeah.
blew my mind.
Yeah.
The licensing.
And there's some incredible. Honestly, I think some of the soundtracks for those animated movies are better than Hans Zimmer's
I
music.
think yeah. I mean, animated movies.
There you go.
They're to be able
Yeah, we're
to.
coming full circle now.
Yeah. All the way
we're coming
back.
back. Yeah.
It's like
it happens.
Nice little
it's a big
segue.
circle. It's a
Yeah.
big circle.
Of life.
But like to score an animated movie, it's like you can control so much more things, so many more things, so much more things, so many more things, like elements
You
of
can
the
score
production.
more things.
Yeah, with that
Well,
because
Animated stuff, it's like when you have live action, there could be things on the screen that you didn't intend to be there. Like
Yeah.
maybe like in before you couldn't edit out a plane or something. that flew
birds,
over.
planes,
You can't do those
clouds.
things.
It's harder.
But when you have an animated movie, you know every single thing that is on frame
Is
was
controlled,
drawn in there.
yeah.
Like it was meant to be there. Everything could have a symbolic meaning. And one person that does a really good job of showing the symbolism in animation is Satoshi Kon. In his movies, Millennium Actress, Perfect Blue, uh, uh,
Just to name a
Tokyo
couple.
Godfathers,
So many.
Paprika. Those are his films. All like super like Paprika. Actually, that's where Nolan got his idea for Inception.
You
I
got
thought you were
that?
talking about.
Yeah, Chris Noll. Basically, yeah, Paprika is a movie where it's like shared dream space and a dream that you can like see what's going on in a dream. Christopher Nolan literally took Paprika.
I feel like I'm being educated right now because
Yeah,
I know
it's-
nothing about anime.
I
I know nothing. I really need to explore like music in
Mhm.
anime because I feel like there's some great
Oh
stuff.
yeah, so Toshi Kon is like one of those like film buff like directors who are like, oh yeah, it's no one's favorite director, but it's all your favorite director's favorite director kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like his stuff is like really good. Like Perfect Blue, there's a scene where she's like in a bathtub like looking down like sad, and then I think in Requiem for a Dream there's a shot for shot replication of that as an homage to that scene.
Nice.
It's just like a lot of stuff like that. But
It's like
then
little things.
yeah, and obviously Studio Ghibli with Hayao Miyazaki and Takahata. I know his last name. I don't know his first name. He's the other director of Ghibli. He did like Grave of the Fireflies and more like the slice of life movies for Ghibli. Not as don't have my mind for those movies titles. It's that's beyond me. But Miyazaki, those good movies. With the score there is Joe Hisaishi. Do you know?
No,
You don't know Joe Hisaishi? Oh my god.
no. Whenever someone tells me like, "Hey, do you know this guy?" and then I'm like, sometimes there's like part of me that wants to be like, "Yo, yeah, totally."
Yeah.
And then hope they don't ask me, "What's your favorite one?" Or I could just go,
You're like,
"No,"
his
and then
first
like I say no, and then they're just like,
Dude, you gotta listen.
"No,"
You have
and it's
to
like the
listen.
embarrassment just hits you, and you're like, oh.
I think that's.
But it's probably, is it better or worse
it's
than
better
lying?
to be
You know,
truthful.
I
It's
mean,
better to
yeah.
be truthful.
but then it
always.
makes me feel like, oh, well, I do music, like that's what I spend all day, like
Yeah.
that's my life, and then it's like, well, you don't.
No, I
listen.
mean, I
I'm like,
definitely-
There's, but like you
'Cause
would
there's
know.
so- there's so many,
so
though.
much
Yeah,
music
it's-
you
it's
couldn't
mind-blowing.
possibly listen.
like I go on
to it all.
Spotify, I'm like, I want to listen to more music or new music, but there's so much
There's
music.
so
Mhm.
much
and
music.
I have to get through this first song that's 3 minutes.
Yeah,
That's like the equivalent of scrolling through like 100 Instagram posts.
it's like people that say
You know?
that they're out of songs. There's no music to listen to. You just haven't looked.
Mhm.
No. People, when they say I want more music, they want more music like what they're already listening to.
Yeah,
They want that emotional bedroom
Yeah.
pop.
The-
That's what most people want.
the
you know?
nostalgia attached to
You know?
songs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I find myself becoming obsessed. Like I'm obsessed with Mokita right now, which is like I guess you'd say like really emotional bedroom pop, or like Jeremy Zucker, that kind of thing, where it's just incredibly dry when it comes to production. Like it's there's not much there. Like it's great. It's very tastefully done, but it's not like huge. Like it's not like Lady Gaga or like Ariana Grande. It's very chill and it's like super emotional. Like,
Yeah.
girls love that stuff, and I love it too.
Rex
Guy, I
Orange
mean,
County.
Some relatable
yeah,
content.
everybody
Yeah.
loves that stuff.
The
man.
indie
yeah.
stuff.
The sad boy stuff.
Like Tame Impala, but
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
way
Tame
less
Impala.
ambient.
So Nolan and I were on this phase of music about a year ago or so. The Tame Impala kind of
Tama and Impale. What is the joke going on? I was literally talking about Tame Impala and they go Tame Impale or something. I was like,
hot tamales.
Yeah, I don't-
But so there's a group named Fang Suave. They've been around for about 4 years now. They release banger after banger. They're like two Danish dudes.
They do not miss.
They don't miss. They're like so good, and their production value is so nice. And like, but it's a super laid back, chill. Like I don't know if these guys have ever been sober and not high or writing their music,
wow.
but they're really cool. It's Swedish and like just that entire Scandinavian area.
Very chill.
They're so good at writing music.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy because this is probably totally different vibe.
Mm.
There's this group called Joan.
Hmm.
Every single one of their songs, like they've only been around a couple years, but every single one of their songs is
Bangers.
a banger.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, like I can sing every single one of their songs along with them, and it's like I love this.
Yeah, it's
I never want to stop listening. And
Yeah.
they came out with like a new song like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, this is great.
Mm.
It's amazing.
yeah.
You know, I mean, are they plagiarizing from their older work?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But like, it's great. It
it's-
hits. You know.
It's hard to find like a new artist that's just like always writing good stuff.
Yeah.
Where, like, I feel like earlier on, with like a group, for example, ABBA, they've got 2 entire albums of ABBA's greatest.
Yeah.
Like, how many bands out there have so many songs
They have 2 albums.
for 2 albums of their hits? Like, usually it's
I
like,
can name a couple solo artists that probably have that, like Lionel Richie.
all right, but
I'm
like,
sure he could have a couple.
Yeah.
they're like 20 songs an album.
Yeah.
Like, basically their entire song, like, set list is on their greatest hits album.
Well, it's like if you went to an ABBA concert, like if you went to a Kiss concert or a Motley Crue concert or Journey or Foreigner,
Yeah.
every single song
Yeah, they're gonna play
from
the
that
highlights.
from
Oh,
that
yeah.
era
Yeah.
could sing.
Yeah.
But it's like when I went to a Panic at the Disco concert.
Mm.
Oh, that
I
must've
knew
been
I knew
fun.
all the songs, because they're all great.
Yeah.
You know.
Sometimes I remember going to a Bruno Mars concert back in the doo-wops and hooligans, like that, or like late 2000s, early 2010
Man,
kind of thing.
Man, Garrett.
And
The concert circuit,
got-
young.
yeah, well, it
I
was
mean,
like-
little 10-year-old Garrett out on the
tinnitus.
streets. I mean, just holding his parents' hand walking in. I mean,
my first concert was Santana.
really?
Yeah, at
Where?
the Hollywood Bowl.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Hollywood Bowl is such a cool venue.
Oh yeah,
Man, I wish I could have seen like
it's good.
anyone like Joe Bonamassa or like Stevie Ray Vaughan,
Mm.
Santana,
Plane crashes get most of those guys.
or helicopter crashes.
Yeah, Stevie
Helicopters
was a
are so
plane, right?
dangerous.
Steve was helicopter.
Helicopter. I know John Denver was
A
plane.
private. Well, he was flying it, so people think he,
Damn.
But I doubt that.
Then there was the guy that does every day. That one I forget.
Leonard Skinner also went
Oh,
down.
damn, so many good.
My buddy went to the memorial, the Leonard Skinner memorial,
The Leonard
because it was like
Skinner.
literally. I mean, the entire band except like 2 guys, I think, were on that plane.
Oh
Jeez.
wow.
Like, have you
Jeez.
ever seen The Dirt, the Motley Crue movie? Like, there's those scenes where they're on like big 737 planes. And like that's like if you're a big group, like you get your own 737. That's basically what they were on.
Oh wow.
They went down.
Yeah,
Damn.
Damn.
and
I mean, that's
the
like
crew, the band,
They're
all the people that worked on the
flying.
show.
every day basically to a new venue,
Yeah. When they're touring.
and they have to get there no matter what. They cannot be delayed. So if it's bad weather, it's like FedEx planes. They don't stop
Dude,
for
FedEx
nothing.
planes, those guys charge.
Oh, dude, you're giving me
hard.
flashbacks to
Yeah.
like Tom Hanks' Castaway,
Oh yeah.
the big freighter plane.
Yeah. But it's like it's normal to fly through those storms when you're like you need to get there.
My neighbor flew for FedEx, and he has some crazy stories. Like, he would literally be like dispatched through hurricanes. And he'd be like, I can't do that. And they're just like,
Sorry.
the plane's rated for it. He's like,
Yeah.
okay.
Am I getting paid for it though?
Like $17
that's-
an hour.
That's what my
Wait,
life's worth.
are you serious?
No, yeah, he flew not $17 an hour, but like,
Oh, okay,
he
that
flew.
was a joke. Okay,
Yeah.
I couldn't tell what part of that was the joke.
Rated for inflation.
I was
Yeah.
like, I really hope that's not.
No, yeah, he's
you know.
cool. Yeah.
Okay.
But they're like I mean, I'd only imagine Amazon. Amazon don't care for nothing.
Amazon's like, we do not care.
I will say though, Amazon delivery drivers are really nice people.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, great.
But they're not
people.
allowed to take any breaks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pat-
they
the
can't
Fed.
eat.
No.
I
can't
know.
use the restroom.
I saw that they're trying to incentivize people to sign up. Despite that, it's they're like covering like a huge percentage of college tuition
Really?
if you're working for them like beyond a certain amount of hours a week, which I'm sure is like unrealistic
Yeah.
for working like a full time student.
They got the GI Bill now for
for
Amazon,
Amazon,
workers.
yeah,
Man, they should be like, yo, I'll pay off your student loans
Mm.
yeah,
they
if you
could
come
probably
drive
people.
for me.
yeah. That would
Yeah.
definitely be a huge selling point for the job.
Yeah.
And then Joe Biden wouldn't have to forgive all the federal loans. Everyone could just go work for Amazon.
And
Well,
Amazon takes
Because
care.
I mean, Jeff Bezos. I mean, I think he could. I'm not one of those people that don't understand how his wealth works, but I think he could take that $400 million yacht and like go pay
Disperse
off
it.
some.
Yeah. Well, he
You know,
needs
give
the
him a
yacht
job
to
too.
show
Yeah.
you can make a $400 million yacht with 0 carbon emissions.
He can't. He needs it.
He needs it.
It's for science.
Now, didn't Steve Jobs have a massive yacht,
Probably.
and it was like a minimalist yacht because he was a big minimalist
No,
guy.
I'm
I
And it was
don't
like
think yachts and minimalism go together.
It was this big yacht with like just glass.
Just
It was white and then just.
I
That's
saw
Apple.
they just built. I think it was in South Carolina. They built a head to toe full carbon fiber fishing boat, and it's 60 feet, and it weighed like 100,000 pounds less than any other boat in its category because it was full carbon. Which I was like, I don't know if you want a boat fully out of carbon because the flex is all is like there and all, but like the integrity of it, I don't know. If
you
that
probably put like
falls off.
fiberglass
No,
structure.
it's like full carbon.
just carbon.
Just full carbon.
Yikes.
And it was so expensive because carbon's expensive.
Oh yeah.
They're like, yeah, but it's check this thing out, and it's just wow. And then they had like some certified rating. It's like essentially like FIA or like FDA. What's FDA? Is that the?
That's food.
That's federal.
Sure.
Drug and
food.
Federal
It's like they had
Drug
this basic.
Association,
Yeah.
I think.
They had basic like requirements for the boat safety, and so they like had to put in regular stuff, but they like covered it in carbon. So it was like fire extinguisher, carbon fire extinguisher, and it was like deck stuff, carbon deck stuff.
Jeez.
It's like damn, but it's pretty cool project for sure.
Yeah. Say boats are very nice.
Boats get pricey, boats and planes and cars.
And welcome back from that little break. It was
Quick
nice. I
little
went to the
pause.
bathroom, fixed up some lights. But we're back for a little bit more. We got water.
Yeah,
Also out of the water. So these are the last cups.
last little go at it.
Mm-hmm.
And in the break, we noticed something interesting about Nolan's phone.
Do I need to show the phone to the camera?
Yeah,
might
this will
as
be.
well.
This
I
will
don't
be a
because I
big-
don't know how much they're gonna be able to.
Yeah, but
I do-
let's explain
just
it
show
with
it
our
from the
words.
camera.
Okay, so I'm a little worried because my ID or like my student ID is in my phone.
Just leave. You
So,
don't
like-
have to open it.
Yeah,
right
no,
now,
Well,
dude.
I get
Let's
a little
see it.
nervous because sometimes I have to take it out, and so my phone is so injured that I'm afraid I'm gonna crack the phone
Break
in
it.
half.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's the back of the phone. I don't know if
One of those
Yeah,
cameras.
one of
will
the-
get
they might pick it
One
up.
will get it.
and then
Hopefully.
I don't know if you can see the
The front.
the
The
front.
front-facing camera.
Yeah, it's a little harder to say. So basically, this is really weird. I woke up, and over the summer, I had this little job that I would go do. It took me like 20 minutes every morning. So I go do the job, and I come back. And of course, I stayed up to like 1 a.m. So I'm
Yeah,
like
summer,
super
summer.
tired. Yeah. Summer move, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm coming back, and I park in my driveway. And we have this weird thing where we have to park our cars perpendicular to the garage. So like this. So like car, garage. And so we have two garage doors. And then in between the garage doors, there's bricks. And then there's a spout for a water hose.
Yeah.
All right.
And so my car goes right in front of the water hose. And my car is an SUV, and it's so big, and I never know how far to go up because I'm always afraid I'm going to tap the
Just keep
nozzle.
going. Keep going.
So I park the car, and I get out, and I check, and there's like good solid 2 feet there for me to walk
Yeah.
between because I had to go into the garage. So I open the garage, and I've got my phone in my left pocket, and I'm walking between there, and usually I would turn to the side and like slide through,
Shimmy.
but I walked through,
Oh,
and my phone was in my pocket, and my phone hit the nozzle while simultaneously pushing up against my body, which was then thrust into the car. And so the phone kind of got like hit like this, and it just kind of like pushed,
Ping-ponged.
kind of pushed
Oh.
it, and it cracked this part
Wow.
and the front. Weirdest.
So you were walking with
Phone
some
situation of
tempo.
my life.
Oh,
And it's
yeah.
funny because the only time I've ever cracked a screen was the first iPod Touch that ever came out in like 2012 or something, whenever it was. And remember, they had the silver back, and
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
Oh yeah.
it was in the days of it was like the tapered back,
The round.
yeah, and you
Good old
couldn't
days.
pick it up if
Yeah.
it was face down. You couldn't
You'd have
pick
to
it.
like
You had to
slide it off.
You gotta have those
Yeah.
guitar nails. You gotta pick it
Oh,
up,
yeah.
And so I had this stupid case on it, like those cases you could get for phones that didn't come up above the screen.
The
you know?
bezel, yeah.
Like
the-
you see on mine, like it's got a bezel
Oh, yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
It comes up a little bit. It's still
Yeah.
kind of dumb. but,
Minimal,
like,
minimal.
It gets the job done.
Yeah.
Like I can't tell you how many times I've dropped it face down and it hasn't broken. But this thing literally just came to the side, so there was no point in having this case on the phone
Purely
or on the iPod. And so I pick it up, and like I'm in the bathroom, so like I pick it up and it just falls on the tile, it just shatters all over the floor.
Oh, jeez.
And I pick it up and the glass just like falls out of it, and I've still got it. Like it's
The
still
OG.
up in my closet in my room, and I put
Nice.
it back in the original box. And a couple years later, I got the new iPod.
It's a metaphor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did that once. I was in like a furniture store or something like that. I was with my mom, and I was putting my phone up against a wall, so it was like this. And I told my mom, no, like it doesn't, like there's no way that my phone screen could break if it falls. And it just went down like this. And
No.
Exploded.
I was like, no, there's no way. And I looked up, and it was completely shattered. And it was like just instant
Dude.
karma for saying like there's no way it's gonna
Yeah.
shatter. I mean,
Looks
this
like-
one's got cracks in it, but it's like
it's either the
usable.
phone gets cracked or it gets stolen.
Yeah.
And I've had the phone I had before this. Well, I had a 5S of an iPhone 5. I should say the iPhone 5S was my first real smartphone. Before that, I had like a track phone or something.
Yeah, so-
burner
Flip
phones.
phone.
Yeah.
And I had a slider
The
phone.
Drug
Nokias.
dealer.
And so I got the 5S, and then the 5S kind of sucked, and then I got the 7
Nice.
when my freshman year going into college. That seems like so long ago.
3 years.
Or actually, no, I got the 7 my senior year of high school.
Even longer.
Yeah. And then all the other iPhones came out, and then I left. And it was funny because it looked exactly like this phone. It was yellow because I love yellow. You can see I have a yellow iPad case.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
very
You know, it's
aesthetic
all
going.
part of the aesthetic.
Menus.
Yeah. This was planned. And so then the iPhone 7, I leave it in my car. I was spearfishing in Malibu, and we were parked on the side of the road, and we were in my buddy's BMW X5, which is a nice car, and unfortunately very electronic because it's a new car, and someone literally hacked it electronically.
No way.
They got into the car because there was no sign of forced entry, because you know how like cars used to have the little thing you could pull up and down, the lock.
Yeah.
Well, you can't pick this lock. Like,
Yeah.
you have to electronically hack this car, which I hear is a really easy thing to do now. So they hacked into it. They stole our wallets, our phones.
Oh, that sucks.
They went and they maxed out my buddy's credit card.
No way.
Damn.
Yep. And you know, so I lost my iPhone 7
That sucks.
to some thieves.
Yeah, we had a friend like
So-
that. He drove a G-Wagon.
A neon blue G-Wagon.
Like,
AMG
it was
G-Wagon.
literally like a target on the car to say, steal from me.
And
Or steal me.
Yeah.
yeah, he left the because when you're surfing, you can't bring your keys out, obviously, and so
Unless
he
you have
left.
a 30-year-old Miata.
Yeah, then you just kind of leave it in your wetsuit.
Yeah.
But then you risk getting like pierced by your key.
Yeah,
if it's
it's
falling. But he left the keys in the grate of the car, like so, like where the radiator is. He just like tucked it in there, and then like there's a ton of people where he was surfing, like watching him park, obviously getting ready, and then he just like puts the key there. He goes in the water, comes back an hour later. Everything was stolen, like his phone, wallet, the keys. They just chucked it in a bush or something, and like the keys to replace for that car are so expensive.
$500.
No, they're like $1,800.
It's $500 for my 2020 GMC Terrain.
That's
And there's probably not
And
a
my
lot
car
going.
is like a $20,000 car.
yeah, and it's like, is it
insane.
like clicker or like
Well, it's like you it's one of those high.
Is it
My
keyless
car is
entry?
like an entry level model, but I feel like all cars are kind of high tech now.
yeah?
Where like you walk up to it, and if it's in your pocket,
Oh,
you
it'll
can open the
open-
door.
yeah, those
My
are-
truck's
those are
not
nice.
like that. So I think my keys should be easier. My keys are the most simple thing for my
You
truck.
just get those milled at like whatever, like a
Yeah.
do-it center.
Like, you can buy the replacements for that super easy. It's a lock and an unlock and a alarm button.
Yeah,
That's
you
it.
can make them.
Mm.
I know people that have changed. They've put new locks in their car,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then they've done the whole infrared thing with the keys, and it's
Yeah,
pretty cool,
my-
actually.
There was a problem with like the RFID. Is RFID? Is that the technology?
RFID, yeah.
There was like a problem for like a while because people didn't really like recognize malicious intent and like the ability to like repeat and boost that signal.
Mm.
So like what thieves would do is they would be able to take the frequency of the key from like inside a house. So, like if you parked your car in like your driveway and then you had the keys, whatever, in your house somewhere, the thief would only have to like locate where your key was and point like a little booster at it, and then it would amplify it to the point where the car is like, oh, the key's right next to me, and then they'd be able to open up the door,
Interesting.
which is like so sus.
Just get the Tesla to drive to you.
And then you just
Steal
gotta
itself.
put like the keys in like a lead box at nighttime or something, and it's like, geez.
You know, they should have like a surf mode on the Tesla where Tesla drops you off at the surf spot,
And then it
Goes
just
to
does
park.
and then
laps.
it,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Because then you don't get parking tickets.
Yeah, or it goes and it parks at a convenience store or something.
Yeah, just
and
around
then
the corner.
and then you hit a button and it comes back.
I mean, like Elon, they did like an April Fool's joke where it was like an anti-parking ticket thing, where like if it detects like a meter maid, it would just be like,
Good drive
move away. Which I mean, I would pay for that
Yeah.
in a heartbeat.
But the car should be able to detect and just do a lap down the street, make a U-turn, go park again.
That'd
Should
be
be
perfect.
simple.
yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, the Tesla's got like the little cards for keys now.
yeah,
So like that should be easy to slip anywhere.
those are cool. They're like $20. You can
Mm.
get like a pack of like six or no, it's like a pack of 3, I think, and you get like
The only issue is when you
$20.
lose them around town because they're so cheap. You're like, oh, it's fine. It's just my key.
yeah. And then someone else has it.
Yeah.
Ah,
You got like 18 keys just floating around.
the Subarus are cool because you can like disable the key and then you can like open it up with like it's like I think Ford has it too, where you can like
Mhm.
open it up with like a code or something on the outside.
Yeah, no, it's
I think Ford does that, right?
yeah. Ford
does
has it.
Tesla not have like the key on your phone?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
got a
also
phone key.
that, yeah.
But
yeah.
but you also have an actual key too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Interesting.
in case like your phone dies or something.
Yeah,
Because
that
like
would suck.
you gotta be like, damn,
I guess they
my
can't
electric
drive.
car for my electric phone is
Yeah.
dead.
If only there was some kind of fix to this with
Like
petrol.
an
I
analog.
mean, nuclear energy.
Mm.
You know it.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a
That's-
lot of cars now that have like the dual. They got like the gas in the
Hybrid?
back, and then the electric charge in the front.
Yeah.
That's a good way to
Cars
get around it.
are eerily silent, like the Prius.
Dude, Prius, silent killer.
I mean, literally, I looked right at this guy. I wasn't stalking him, by the way.
Yeah, no.
I was literally walking out of this place, and this guy walks to his car, gets in, and this is all while I'm walking. You know, like I'm walking to my car, and he gets in, and he starts the car up, but I don't know that. Like he apparently had to. The car just starts moving, and all you hear is just the wind
And like the rubble, like
And-
the gravel
and the
underneath.
gravel. Yeah.
What's like
It's
under 30 miles
really-
per hour? It does
It's-
like
yeah.
only
It's-
electric.
And
Very
that's why
eerie.
Priuses are so highly targeted for catalytic converter theft,
Yeah.
because the reason why catalytic converters are worth anything is because they have like rare materials inside of them. So like
Metals.
platinum.
Gold, maybe.
I don't think there's gold
Silver?
in there.
Or...
It's like platinum, argon, I think, and that's
the
a
metals.
gas, isn't it? I don't
Yeah.
know, but there's like it's like something to like help with like emissions. And because the Priuses so often are on like the hybrid mode, it's not using those natural resources in the cat. So they also don't have VIN numbers on your cats. So like a thief literally jacks your car up with the sawzall, brr, brr, and then boom,
Takes it off, gone.
$500 like per car. You hit like
Yeah.
a whole parking lot.
But
you
they're like
make
$2,000
bank.
each to
Well,
like replace.
Yeah, they're so pricey because
Yeah.
you have to pay for labor and the part.
The trick is you buy a 30-year-old Mazda Miata that doesn't have a cat,
And then you just don't get it small.
and then you don't get a smog.
And
Yeah.
you don't get your keys stolen either.
Yes.
Nobody wants
Well,
to
no
do
one
it.
wants to steal it.
You take the risk.
Yeah.
Mm.
Almost spinning yourself.
It's just
My
trade-offs.
top's always down. The doors are never locked. I just take the wheel off and I take my shift knob off. That's my anti, theft.
This is sarcasm, right?
No, that is my anti-theft. The wheel comes off.
Wait, you have a Miata?
Yeah.
It's in the garage.
It's in the
Oh, I
garage.
didn't know this.
I'll have to show you
after the
Yeah.
podcast. It'll go on the TikTok.
But yeah, I have a racing wheel, so it can come off.
Oh,
I'm not gonna say where I put it because that is my only anti-theft.
How am I just finding out about this? My
Well,
mind
but-
is blown.
The thing is for like the racing wheels, anybody else brings a wheel, it'll also fit.
Yeah.
But then also you can just use a wrench.
You could, but who just carries a wrench with
People
them?
trying to steal cars.
Yeah, but then they
I
have to
feel
listen
like
to
Nolan's
manual.
stolen a car before.
I've looked into.
I think Nolan is outing himself.
I've looked into how to prevent it, so I've educated myself
Yeah.
on how to do it.
Mm.
It's like
oh,
reverse
Sure,
psychology.
sure. Okay.
And another thing about how easy it is to steal my car is usually there's a piece of plastic that goes under the wheel to cover all the wires. That's they're usually not
Like in a
exposed.
movie where they hotwire.
They
a car.
hotwire it because they rip it
They
off
like
and
tear
they,
that piece of plastic off. Garrett
I
already
don't
took-
have it.
Garrett took that liberty for them.
Yes. So it's just wires under there. You just see wires.
It's a fire hazard. That's what that is.
It's not a fire hazard. They're all safe. But
Wait, how long have you had this car?
since January,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess last time I was here, I didn't. I
it was right before. It was during Christmas. Or,
Yeah, because
Christmas.
okay, so that makes sense. That's why
Yeah.
I didn't know about the Miata.
Yeah.
This makes sense.
I was talking about
I was a
getting a
little
Miata.
worried. I was like, Garrett's not telling me.
Well, no, I
Garrett is
remember
keeping something
Well,
from
he's
me.
holding
a
it back
few
for the
times
podcast.
in Zoom guitar class. I would be leaving the gym and I'd be in the Miata and I'd have to join and I'd be like, make sure I'm muted. And I like look down and you just see me like shifting as I'm like looking down at class and making sure like, please don't call me. Please don't call me.
It's like, Garrett, you look like you're playing today. And you're like, why?
You're like, come on. Like there's a few times where Chris like would be like, oh Garrett, what are you playing in the next concert, as I'm like trying to like do manual driving, and it's a convertible, it's loud.
Yeah.
Also catless.
It's also catless, it's straight pipe, so it's like I'm like trying to listen through like my sound system and I'm like, yeah, I would love to play that song next
I
week.
always thought Garrett sounded a little sketchy on those Zoom calls.
Yeah.
It's making sense now. So is it a
Yeah.
two-door?
Oh yeah, it's
So
small.
it's a two-seater.
Yeah, 2-seater at best.
Most sold
So
sports
you
car.
can't fit two Nolans.
Well,
could.
we'd have to drive.
Yeah,
Oh.
we could
Two
not all
Nolans
fit in
a
it.
Miata. Dude,
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
my-
got a Miata.
Yeah.
you have a Miata too?
Yeah, it's coming
Yeah.
back. Hopefully next week. I blew the engine, so
Oh, okay, so you have the Subaru.
yeah.
Miata,
Subaru.
Subaru.
You know what I used to drive? I used to drive an Infiniti G35.
Mm.
Oh, those are sick.
Yeah.
What
You
is
guys
sick?
drive Miatas, you know.
Yeah,
Mm.
car guy.
Yeah.
No,
Car
there's the cars with the most like reckless driving instance tickets. Miata's number one,
For most
but I think it's like the
driving,
Infinity like G
Dude, people
something, like it's like the
they pimp
next.
those cars out.
Yeah, they
man.
do.
Yeah,
That,
I mean,
that
they cut the middle out and
six-cylinder.
put that big whatever that thing is.
the
you know,
sequential.
I don't know. In like the big
Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, and they've got the big thing sticking out of the hood.
Oh, the supercharger.
The supercharger.
Is that what that is?
That's-
See,
yeah.
I don't know that much about cars. I just
It's like an old supercharger.
Yeah, I had like a 2007 G35.
Those are
With
sick.
a spoiler.
Oh, you get the spoiler on it, dude.
It was so nice. Now I drive an SUV, which
Yeah.
I love my SUV.
Yeah.
They're more
It's
practical.
incredible.
Yeah.
But
You
it's
can
like-
stick a surfboard in it
Yeah.
and shut it.
Nice.
That's how big it is.
Damn, like
Yeah.
that's the cool. Like the truck is cool because you have
Yeah.
like a bed, but like
Theft.
theft becomes a problem.
But
with
you
the
can get
bed.
the sheets that go over and like
yeah,
lock it
yeah.
down.
My sister's boyfriend has a Dodge, and it's I forget like the model, but it's like a Ford Raptor. It's
Like the Ram
It's like a fast
TRX.
Nice, nice.
I think.
The TRX
That's the Ram.
But Dodge and Ram
I
are
think
the
it
same.
ranges
Oh,
from
really?
like 40 to 50,000.
Oh,
I had no
Something.
clue.
Maybe
it's
not.
it's really fast, man. But like he's got
Yeah.
the lid on the
Mhm.
back,
I gotta get a lid
Yeah,
for.
you gotta
and
get
then it's
the-
like carpeted. on
Oh,
the back.
nice.
So I mean,
Fancy.
technically, you
Bougie.
could put valuable stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
you could put a guitar back there. You might
I-
not want to leave it back there.
Yeah,
but
I
you could,
wouldn't. Like I have to sometimes leave my guitar in my truck on campus, and I'm like, please not be hot. Please not be hot.
do you leave it in the cab?
Yeah,
He
inside.
just puts it in the bed.
Yeah, just in the bed.
Just opens it and lets it bake in the
Yeah,
sun.
yeah.
Like, oh, you need a
It'll be
tan.
fine.
Like, good luck.
Give the guitar some
Yeah.
sun.
I mean, I make sure to like try to like keep
Put some
it in the dark.
sunscreen on it.
Yeah.
Get the spray on the case. You're like, this will be fine.
That ought to do it.
Yeah.
On the wood. You're like, that's good. But it gets hot. I mean, it'll cool down probably in a week or two.
Oh, I'm so
It's
excited.
So hot today. It's weird though because it feels like there's an oven above you.
Oh, the sun is so brutal.
But it's weird because back home in Tennessee, it's hot
But it's human.
and humid, so like
Yeah.
you're gonna sweat. But
No
here, like I
humidity.
walked from the music building today
Mm.
to my dorm, which is like a 15-minute walk, and just light sweat.
Yeah.
It's not. It's the
But
humidity.
you
what
know
kills
it's
you.
hot.
Yeah,
Like you
But
can
it-
feel you burning.
like I could put a cap on and be perfectly cool.
Yeah.
But it's just
Mhm.
like that heat. Like I've been getting so much sun just from walking to class.
Oh yeah.
And people are like, "Oh, take the bus." I'm like, "Yeah,
No.
but I get the vitamin D,
I take
Yeah.
bus.
and you don't. This is why I'm superior."
I don't do the bus because I've tried the bus before and I end up getting on the wrong way, or it's like I wait for like 30 minutes. I'm like,
Oh, you
so
end
there
up
was
going up the dresser?
Yeah,
Orange
I've done
bus.
that
Oh, that's
before.
hilarious.
The orange bus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like freshman year. I was like, I am on the wrong bus. I have missed my class. We're not going to class today.
Oh man, I love it when people come into class like 20 minutes late and they're like, "Yeah, I couldn't find parking."
Yeah.
And I was like, "You need to get here at
Where?
like
Oh,
I
5
leave-
a.m."
Yeah.
I leave an hour before my class.
I leave
That's
40
it?
minutes.
Because I mean, it's like a 30-minute drive, right?
Yeah, so I give myself 30 minutes.
Dude, my GPS was like, it's a 40-minute drive from Pepperdine to here, and I was like, "What?"
Nah.
It took me like 25 minutes.
Yeah, it's a
That's-
28-minute drive to 35 with
if you
no
get
traffic.
stuck behind the wrong car.
Yeah,
it's-
if you get stuck
you're-
behind a truck on the way on
toast.
Malibu Canyon, it'll increase the time. But
What do you usually drive out?
when do I?
No, like, what do you usually drive out to Malibu,
Oh,
like for school?
usually the truck.
Okay.
That's good just because like I know it's reliable and it's got air conditioning. The Miata is manual.
no
air
air conditioning.
conditioning.
Can't clear speed bumps.
No.
Hill starts. Parking brake doesn't work.
All that.
Is that primarily just around town?
Yeah,
I
it's
bring
a
it around. I'll
weekend
go to the
cruiser.
Jeep, go down the canyons, things like
Go to
that.
the
If I don't have
gym.
to park on like a hill, like that's the thing. If you don't know how to park on hills or parallel park on a hill, and you go to Pepperdine,
Dude, have you
Good
seen
luck.
the parking around campus like the first couple weeks? It's been like, what are they
But
doing?
it's weird
I
because
don't
like
know.
the weekends, I mean,
It's
there
just
is
dead.
not a soul.
mm-hmm.
In freshman year, there was people on campus. Like there's
Yeah.
people on main campus today, but it's just like no one.
Yeah.
I mean, like row is empty,
yeah.
just
But if
empty.
if you go down to Ralph's Beach across the street from Pepperdine, I bet every single freshman is there. They're like, "Whoa, there's a beach here." I never. All right, have you ever done it? I never could justify it. Is people be like, "I got an hour off for lunch. I'm gonna go to the beach."
No, yeah, no.
There's no way I could do it. Like
Yeah.
a beach is like that is something you go down, you get the towels.
It's so
you're going
hard.
in the
Like
water.
going in the sun and
Everyone
then
asked
sitting
me,
in class,
they're
you can't.
Everyone
Yeah.
asked me, they're like, "So do you go to the beach every day?" And I'm like, "No, it's way
No.
too much effort."
Yeah.
Why would you do
just
that?
can't.
Like it. I know it's a literal 5-minute drive,
But then parking.
but you got to find parking.
Parking.
You then have to walk. You
Like
then
if
have
I
to find
had
a
an
spot.
electric scooter, I'd be down there all the time.
Yeah.
But my scooter would get me down there; it wouldn't get me back.
No.
Yeah, that's what you get, like an electric bike
Yeah.
though.
And if I was like I roller skate, but I'm not like great at it. Like I just started at the beginning of the summer. But like if I was really good at that, I would totally skate down there.
You got a scooter.
I have like a regular kick scooter, like
Razor.
You give it the power.
Yeah.
I used to rip around campus all the time.
There's a guy that
I make
literally
fun of him.
He has an
he
electric
almost
scooter.
hits me
Yeah.
all the time, and he's just zipping.
The bird or whatever.
If they had
It's
birds
insane.
on campus,
I saw that at Target.
Yeah.
Or no, it was Costco. is what I
They
saw.
sell them?
Yeah, they're like $400.
Jeez.
that's a
Yeah,
steal.
I was-
And
Save
then
the legs.
one of the Dr. Board,
Mm.
one of the music directors, he has one of those hovercrafts with a little stick in the middle.
Oh, I've seen him. I've seen him.
Oh,
Yeah.
our
Like
neighbor has
Teddy.
it, yeah.
Yeah,
Neighbor
there's
has
also
one.
the dean of the divisional dean of the music school. He's got one of those too.
Yeah.
And they
You just don't wanna
they
walk?
go they zip around the music building.
Yeah, I've seen him.
like inside.
Yeah, and then they go in, they drive up to the door, they unlock the door, they go in, they park it, and they sit down at their desk.
That's pretty sick.
I would probably laugh if I just saw someone like on a hoverboard inside, just like moving around. Like,
Couldn't walk.
it's
These
like
guys
50
are
feet.
these guys are at the pinnacle of their success. I mean,
Dude,
they're
yeah.
absolutely
They're at
killing the
Pepperdine
game.
doing music.
Yeah.
Where else would you want to be? In the industry,
Yeah.
doing music? But I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's
Speaking
good.
of music, I think we actually crushed the music topic today. That was a good one.
I think we did a
boys.
good job. I think we talked a lot about movies. Definitely, maybe a little bit about Hans Zimmer.
Who is a great
A
guy.
touch.
Who's a fantastic
should
fella,
hire
real
Nolan.
stand-up guy.
Yeah.
Nolan talked fantastic about
Yeah.
your work.
But yeah, I think there's maybe possibly for a future time. There's many more movies. I'd say I do recommend anything Studio Ghibli.
We should
Oh,
do
yeah,
Dune.
yeah.
We should have you back
Oh,
for
yeah.
Dune.
Oh, dude,
we'll watch
absolutely.
Dune together.
We all need to go see Dune.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to get people to go see it because I feel
Yeah.
like I
Sign
need
us
to.
up.
I
We
feel like I
watch
need to
every
get
movie.
Tickets like now.
They
ASAP.
just the new Venom movie like follow
yeah, it's
that?
coming out
the
soon.
Carnage. They're already selling tickets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I never buy into that. They always go, "It's sold out. We can't get tickets." Trust me, they'll
There'll
put
be
more
tickets.
showings.
There's tickets.
I remember.
Do you guys go to the theater in Westlake?
Yeah, there's like literally like 20
4
theaters.
Okay.
420, 4.
There's so many theaters.
Between in
Like
there.
you can find
Wow.
a seat like no matter what, unless
Yeah.
you're a big like 8-person group kind of thing. That's when it's obviously harder. I remember Force Awakens came out, and everyone was like, "It's sold out. You can't get tickets anywhere." We went on for like a second. We're like, "Oh, this theater's empty. Let's get tickets."
Yeah. Like
Wow.
opening night.
Yes.
Yeah, back
Yeah.
home there's like 3, and
Yeah.
only one of them that's safe.
Or-
That you want to go to.
I mean,
It's really
that's-
nice. We got like an AMC dine-in.
Oh,
nice,
yeah.
COVID kind of killed the whole dine-in thing. I don't know
Yeah.
if they're. Hopefully
Yeah.
by the time
now
we go
they
back,
do food here. They do food.
Dude, I love going to the theater and ordering like a milkshake or something. But
Yeah,
it's like $15,
Yeah.
or like a burger is $25,
They'll get you.
and it's
Yeah.
a good burger. Like it's probably worth
Is it
$12.
$25?
Not $25.
Have you ever been to Petit Trois? It's a French place in LA. It's like
No.
they sell like a $25 hamburger, and like that's worth $25.
Yeah,
not
It's
like,
really good.
I mean, my roommate is an incredible grill master. So I mean,
lucky
his
duck.
burgers. I mean, tonight we had incredible grilled chicken
Nice.
with it was like a bowl. It was chicken, rice, peppers, and beans.
Mm.
That sounds great.
Oh, it was great.
Oh yeah, because you guys have the
Seaside
grills
has
over
the
there.
bar,
Yeah, just-
like
yeah,
the
grills
No, we
Grills
literally
and
just
stuff
did it
like
in our because we have a kitchen. We
Mm.
just did it. You
You
know.
guys got kitchens?
Mm.
Yeah,
Damn.
man.
Seaside's nice.
Are you in Seaside?
I'm at
We
home.
commute.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm-
that's right.
yeah.
Yeah. Did,
No
well,
point.
did you guys live in freshman housing?
Yeah.
I
Oh
don't
my
remember
gosh.
where I lived.
You lived up the.
Did
you
you
were like in the
mainly stay at home,
spring.
and
Yeah.
then you made your parents pay for?
You had
We
to.
had
We
to.
couldn't do any otherwise.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
lucky that the sophomore year they didn't make us because
Yeah.
we were COVID.
Do you
so I
drive
was like,
every day?
yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, it's easy.
Are you around here close?
yeah. I'm like,
He's 2 minutes away.
yeah. I don't know.
You'll
what
pass his
direction
house.
I am.
Are you in
Really?
Lake Sherwood?
In the area.
Sorta, yeah.
It's Lake Shore like subsidiary called the
Yeah.
Meadows. Doxham.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now all 5 people that listen.
Oh,
to
is
this
that
know
where
I live.
Parkney lives?
Yeah, he's across the street. So there's like it's called like the
Dude,
Shores.
Dude, I want to see his house
At-
so bad.
Just, like,
It's in
drive
another
by it.
gated community. I think I have the code for that community.
I mean, I know someone that lives over there.
Dude, I have
Yeah.
all the codes for the gated communities back home.
Yeah, it's like you always know somebody
Yeah.
in one of the
They're
communities.
completely different back in Tennessee, though. I will say, like, well, just neighborhoods here are just completely different. But that's a different discussion.
Yeah, well here we have
for,
like,
for Dune. For Dune.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
Dune.
yeah.
the more content. But yeah, Dune comes out soon? Probably like December or November.
No,
There's-
it comes out in October.
October?
At the end of the year, there's
Interesting.
just so many big movies coming
Yeah.
out. Like they're like catching up.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah.
we gotta see the new James Bond movie.
James
That's,
Bond.
yeah, November
that got
or
pushed
Oc-
back to next year.
No, it's now.
I thought they
No,
delayed
no,
it again.
No, it's coming out now.
Oh, they pushed it.
Wait,
I've already
why?
seen trailers coming out on
Yeah,
TV.
why would they delay
I thought
it,
they
though?
delayed it.
No, they didn't.
Oh
do
no,
it.
my bad. That was Top Gun got delayed.
Yeah,
My
Top
bad.
Gun because
I got that confused.
they had to push everything.
Yeah,
I
that
hear
got
it's
rolled.
I hear it's like really good.
It's supposed to be sick. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
It'll be good. There's a lot of
COVID
movies.
just ruined
COVID took a
everything.
dumpster, dude, on everybody.
Yeah.
Ah.
No, that's like one of the things was like all the movies that they've been releasing are just kind of like the B to C tier. There's a couple gems in the rough, but
The Suicide Squad was cool.
Suicide Squad was good.
Yeah, I heard that was good. I watched Jungle Cruise.
That was good.
That was a fun movie. We already talked about that.
Mhm.
Did you guys see The Courier?
Courier.
Or I saw The Green Knight.
I
Oh,
wanted
we
to see
wanted
that
to
movie.
watch
How
that.
was it?
Weird movie, dude.
How was it?
Don't go
A24.
there. Don't take a girl there like on a date.
Unless
Like,
she's
don't
like a
take her
film
to see that
buff.
movie. Yeah. Thankfully, the girl I took was like a film
All right.
connoisseur, so it
She's
was
like,
it was a good
A24.
time. But
This is
like,
art.
it's a weird movie,
Yeah.
very deep, and done. It's like, okay, you know, how Chris Nolan tries to be deep.
Mm.
Well, this movie is actually deep,
Like
and
Papillon?
they do it. Yeah, they don't take themselves too seriously, and it ends up being really, really nice.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's a weird movie. It's like
Yeah.
you're on hallucinogens.
Oh, perfect.
It's kind of it's an A24 movie,
Yeah.
so you get those Midsommar Hereditary vibes with the music. It's like all choir, or if you've seen The King on Netflix with Timothée Chalamet.
Mm. I know. I mean,
that kind of
A24
vibe.
does all those very.
I'm trying to
art
remember
house
who
films,
directed The
independent.
Green Knight.
Ooh, yeah, I don't know.
I'm so bad with director names. I know composers all day long, but director names.
No,
is-
there's so many people
different.
that work on a movie. Like, you're like, oh, the directors who like shoots everything. You're like, no, that was the
No.
DP.
Well, see, you guys think about that stuff. Like, just hearing you guys talk about it is so weird to me. You know, because like with music, it's like one guy gets his name on it, and then you got to go dig around and figure out. Like,
What
it's almost impossible to know actually
Who made it?
was working on the team.
Yeah.
Like, who were the mix engineers?
Yeah.
Who did the sound design?
Yeah.
Like, you got to scroll through the
there's
Like
so
that-
many people.
credits.
Literally, we just watched Shang-Chi this past
Yeah.
weekend.
Oh,
It was
really?
it was 10 minutes of credits, and
Oh,
like
yeah.
the font was like
For
microscopic,
the SFX people.
and it's
like,
just like everybody.
How
Yeah.
was that movie?
it was good.
Really good.
Really?
Story was mid, but
Yeah.
the choreographed fight scenes, like all like the effects of it, were really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good music.
Good music.
Who was it? Benjamin Wallfish?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember who did the.
Yeah, they
The
had
music
this
for
like
that.
kind of EDM-ish feel for some things.
Some
and
things that they really
Yeah.
underdelivered on some scene. The bus scene,
then, yeah.
terrible song.
Yeah, we talked about it in our previous podcast about
Yeah.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah,
Episode 10
that was a big one. Double digits.
for his listeners. But you know, they also do like a lot of traditional music.
Yeah,
But I feel like now we're kind of just repeating ourselves.
recycling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we did talk about this. That was so long
We did.
ago.
We
An
did.
entire week.
But yes,
Yikes.
Oh, they haven't released the.
The soundtrack.
I think from what I'm seeing, it looks like it's a lot of pop music.
Yeah.
Did it have a lot of? Because I'm seeing 88 Rising, and like Rich Brian.
Oh, it makes sense. They're gonna use anyone that's
so-
like more like Asian, so it's more.
Yeah, I'm seeing like
all in
Nicki,
that
DJ
circle.
Snake,
I don't remember it.
Jenny Okeo.
They had some songs playing. Oh, it was probably from the club scene. They just had to like tag everybody that was playing in that. Maybe
Yeah, like
I
there
don't
was a club fight club.
obviously
Yeah,
there was a
They
it
had
was like
Fight
a club
But
fight.
there was a score, right?
yeah. No, they did. The
trying
score itself is more like a
'cause I
traditional
can't
like Chinese.
find. I literally I
music.
looked it up.
But you just YouTube it later.
Yeah.
It probably isn't released yet because Marvel, they're trying to get like every penny out of the box
Yeah.
office.
Yeah, I look
No.
up Shang-Chi soundtrack composer. Music composed by Joel P. West, Rich Brian, and DJ Snake.
Interesting.
Like, let me see if this Joel P. West guy is.
A composer.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not saying
it
Rich
looks
Brian
like he's
isn't
the
a
guy
composer.
Yeah, he's the composer.
If we ever had Joji on,
He's a young
we'd have
guy.
some questions.
Okay, this
Like,
guy's
so what
young.
happened to Filthy Frank?
Okay, this guy's
What'd
an
you do to
unknown
Where is he?
from what I'm seeing.
Free Filthy Frank. I saw this trend. People are trying to get Filthy Frank. So I think it was like the next milestone for YouTube.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
so
it's
they
like
had to
100 mil.
send him something.
So then he'd send him a plaque, and then
Yeah.
he'd be like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah. You know Filthy Frank?
Do I know Filthy Frank?
You insult
Yeah.
me asking me these questions.
You know, some people
You
they
have
miss that
no
part of culture.
idea, Garrett.
It's like
I've covered some of his songs.
Dude,
that's
I,
technically,
a great one.
I spilt this water droplet at the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah.
It still hasn't gone into the
Well, so these are actually state of the art
waterproof.
moving blankets.
That's what I was about to say.
They're
I was like,
moving
I
blankets.
know these blankets.
Because all right, so here's the thing. So there's film sound blankets. They're basically the same thing.
Just thicker.
They're slightly thicker, not even really much thicker.
I mean,
They
that's what you guys said
don't
about
do
for
much.
acoustic treatment.
yeah.
Yep.
For one of these, it's $100 for like 5 of them, this was like $30.
That's a steal.
That's a steal.
That's a steal.
Like you could even double stack them.
Boom, you got
guys
more
are,
layer.
jacking up the studio. I see.
Yeah.
Balling on a budget.
Falling on the Shure SM7Bs.
Yeah, I mean that's the industry standard right there. So
Say, well, I think we did a lot tonight, and I think
yeah.
we will be back maybe for Dune.
Happy to have another Nolan on.
Yeah.
yes,
It's greatly
I would love to be
appreciated.
back. Yeah,
But I think it was a good night of podcasting, and
sure.
2 Nolans are better than 1.
Exactly. The more the merrier.
yeah, actually,
Yes.
I have 3 Nolans at Pepperdine. I got a
Whoa,
film Nolan.
we're getting the
music
third guy
Nolan,
on.
and Nolan, and it's pretty good. He could be on.
3
Get-
Nolans.
get all the
That would be
Nolans.
hilarious. And then there's another
Featuring
Garrett,
Nolan
isn't there?
times 3.
Let's put a Gorski, yeah.
Yeah, we should
Garrett.
get another Garrett. Just
Just
to be like, Nolan
really
and
screw
Garrett.
things up.
What's up?
It'd be very oh gosh, that wouldn't
Yeah.
be good. Just like, well, Garrett, like, yeah, you're like Nolan, yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Who?
All
All right, well, we'll wrap it up here.
Thank you
and,
for listening.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Greatly appreciated.
Au revoir.
Later, guys.
Peace.